Good morning, SMITE fans. A lot of great memories in that video package, and a lot of great memories to be made today. And today starts with a tiebreaker gauntlet on the road to Vegas that has gotten oh so closer after an exciting week of land. It's Malum and Trelly to start your morning off. A little bit of Anthony Squared to get crazy with it, and I'm beyond excited. I mean, the games yesterday ended in the most shocking way possible, where we were all so confident. Food Drive for Globe, they're legit. They can't be stopped. They got stopped. they met up against Team Risk, and it looked just like the Team Risk that we saw in playoffs. And they've figured out something on this patch. And speaking of this patch, CA7 is what we're playing on. If you are just tuning in today for the first day, and there's a lot to kind of take note of. Baron, Samdi, Nuwa, and Thor, they're the competitively banned gods right now. And again, CA7, so no CA8. Not going to see the Medusas of the world at the moment, which we'll see those soon in Vegas, so don't worry. And kind of one of the more important things is noting the why, and the big why is just making sure everyone's playing on the same page. They had enough time to prepare for this event, Trelly.
Absolutely. The thing is, we have seen teams sort of understand the meta, we've seen new metas form, and it's all about adaptation as far as I've seen, because again, the reason we're in a tiebreaker here is because 3 different teams have been able to sort of beat each other, which means as this tournament has came through, adaptations have been made, the meta has shifted, and my question is, who went home or to their hotel last night and did the best prep? That's probably what we're going to see on the battleground today. Whoever is able to claim that top seed, because you gotta just pay attention to everything that has happened so far. Oh, the
He's
duo
waking
strap is
up.
so strong. Oh, we
He's
need to
waking
get,
up.
focus on Yamoda or
He's
so
waking up.
and oh my gosh, Cupid is back in the meta. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and it's
English
not
is still
easy
loading
to figure out day of.
my brain.
It's really one of those things you kind of have to step back from the whole event and say, okay, we need to lock in exactly where things went right, where things went wrong.
A long stream with me, or the short stream you're gonna see. So let's see. Because if they lose here, they're gonna keep playing and playing and playing. So let's see how it
to
is.
kind of zoom out and look at the
It's
schedule,
gonna
right?
happen.
We got to look at how many games we've got going on and what we're starting off with. So again, this is
Oh,
the
so they are
tiebreaker
gonna play
for
no
Group
matter what.
B. You see Food Drive for Globe, Smoke Break, and Team Risk. They've all beat each other up. They've adapted
So
to
we're
each
gonna
other,
be
as
here
Trelly
in
said,
here
and
at
has
least
gotten us
till
to
3.
this point.
Question
And
mark,
we're starting off
exclamation
with
mark.
Food Drive for Globe versus Smoke Break, which to me is one I'm
Pretty
very
much
excited
I'm
about.
hungry.
Because I think of what Food Drive for Globe has proven so far this land, and I think of how Smoke Break
My
looks so
best living,
renewed
yeah, I would like that.
so far in this land. A completely different
But
team.
the grind,
They'll be
the
followed by
grind
Team
it
Risk
is,
versus
the
Food
grind
Drive.
is here.
And ending off will be Smoke Break versus Team
The grind
Risk.
is the
Now,
grind.
we'll be done with tiebreakers by the end, because if somehow we end up with another tiebreaker, then we're going to look at the fastest game time win, and then also head-to-head for the 2 teams that would be tied. So no matter what happens, at the end of this gauntlet, we're going to have our seating figured out for the brackets they'll be playing later on today, closer to 1 o'clock. It's a full day of SMITE 2, so if you have been wanting more and more SMITE 2, I've got so much good news for you.
Yeah, and so if you forgot or if you're just tuning in, Smoke Break beat Team Risk. Team Risk beat Food Drive beat Smoke Break. That's why we're here. So we got to figure out again, who's going to be the top dog. And we did get to talk to
Who's gonna be
Genetics
the
earlier
top
on yesterday,
dog?
probably 2 days ago
No,
now.
I literally put like
It's all
6
adding up.
alarms.
And
I was
he
like,
was
what
just
the
mentioning
hell?
how the meta that Smoke Break brought to them on day 1 was just not what they expected, and they got taken aback by it, but they've been looking cleaner now. So, I think Smoke Break, they can't rely on just, bringing new strats to the table, because that's something that Food Drive's been ready for, right? It's so interesting to have this, I was going to say square. It's obviously, there's 3. It's a triangle of sorts.
You were also making a circle
Yeah,
motion.
I was trying to make some sort of flow state, make a water, whatever it is. These teams are like, they were kryptonite towards each other, but it's way different now.
Definitely follow through.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you talked about flow state, right? One team entered in flow state, and I feel like Food Drive for Globe had some kind of essence of what you were expecting of. They can perform. They'd shown the hints. Smoke Break, on the other hand, they had a tougher path on the way, and they showed up at LAN, and man, did they show up. There was the obviously notable replacement of I Silenced for the LAN with Elion, which added questions, but those questions were answered in the very first game we saw, really, from them, with perfect play, awesome calls, and we talked a lot about the meta evolving and kind of catching teams like Team Risk off guard, and
Everybody
they started things off. with that.
It's too early for
active
this.
items is a big conversation we're going to have, and they've jumped up and become even more valuable so far. We've seen
And that
large
studio
usage from
chat
Smoke
is
Break and
so
T-Risk, for that
cool,
matter,
so
with both
cool.
really being into those active items. So Smoke Break is a team that really has, they surpassed my expectations, but they
Oh,
did
we
it
have the
in
good
ways that
vibes.
I don't think many people could have predicted.
That's all we need.
And you do have to consider the fact that these are best of ones, right?
Ooh,
It's not as if you have to bring an airtight strategy for possibly 3 games. You just have to come out swinging in game number 1 and just knock the enemy team off their rhythm. So I think this is the kind of day where we'll see more invades or more weird starts with lane swaps, or we're just gonna all hide in the grass at your speed
We've already
buff.
seen a backdoor this week too.
Exactly. Those are the kind of plays that can work once and just
backdoored?
ruin your seeding, right? So just
Yeah.
I'm expecting, especially from a team like Smokebreak, who
Hi,
has the
Kinsley.
ability to just group off a call like LAon brings that sort of
Hopefully,
energy to a
like
team.
win both
So
games,
I
we
wouldn't
get
be
there, we
surprised
get
if
the
we
buy
spawn
round,
in,
and
we
we're
just
in
look at the map,
an
and they're
amazing
already
spot
doing
for
something
Vegas. Either way,
strange
we
that
already qualified, so
you
that's
can't
like
exactly prepare for.
like
Well,
a
one team that
relief.
we're hoping
Well,
is
we can be
prepared to
better.
get back to
Thank
what
you
they
so
were
much for
figuring
being
out
here.
so quickly
Hi, Black.
is Food Drive for
How you
Globe,
doing?
because they were a team that was getting, rightfully so, a lot of hype up the closer we were getting to LAN. As man, these guys really came out of nowhere. But if you've been watching all the esports for SMITE 2, and I mean from the very beginning when we had our very first closed alpha tournaments that were preluding to the Founder Series, then you knew this team was serious. If you follow the community, you've seen how they've been doing in
So early
tournaments like
morning,
SMITE
yeah, I
Prime.
know, right?
They've
Like,
done
can we start playing at
fantastic.
like
They just
1
needed
p.m.
to
or
put it all
something?
together
Can
on
we
the big
enjoy our
stages, and they
Sunday?
did. But one problem that
Thank you.
has plagued Food Drive for Globe throughout the Founder Series is there has been a couple of games, time and time again, where one thing will go wrong and they just implode.
I'm gonna start drinking the caffeine. If not, I'm gonna die.
It happened yesterday.
Everybody looks so tired.
Yeah,
We're
and
like,
again,
yo.
a best of 1 settings where you cannot have that, right? Like you can't have the, oh, we had a rough game 1, we'll bounce back. You need to bounce back immediately in the middle of the game, because your chances of fighting for first seed end if you have one of those just mental booms. So
Yeah.
I think Food Drive for Globe, like you
Actually,
said,
the
have received
trick
a lot of
is to
praise,
wake up and
rightfully so. They have
wait for like an
certainly earned
hour
it. But
for it
here they gotta
to
come
not
with
give
that
you
same
like
ability that
the
we were just talking about for Smoke Break,
like
to be able to
like a
adapt on the
bounce,
fly if
and
something
then you
new
feel
is thrown at
tired,
them.
and
They
with
have
energy you
always
can
been
sleep
able
and
to
stuff.
play
But
different strategies, like tag
I didn't wake up.
super versatile in that
Hi,
ADC role.
Caitlin.
Sometimes playing
Nice
things like
to see
Susano,
you.
sometimes
Hello,
going back to
Yaren.
the Zeus, but not necessarily
Hi,
going the
hi,
auto attack variant.
guys.
Like there's a lot
Excited to see the
that I'm expecting
tiebreaker.
from them that is going
Let's see
to
what's happening.
shift the way that we
It's
usually
poppin'.
expect to see from picks and bans, and then also just like the traditional starts around the map, because they bring that level of ingenuity where they can just play anything that they've practiced before.
And I like that you point that out too, because one really beneficial thing overall is these are the teams we'll see.
Right?
in
It's
Vegas.
crazy.
They don't have to hold
It is
strategies
crazy.
for
It is
Vegas,
crazy.
because Vegas will be played on a very,
Yesterday
very
I saw
different
mine
path.
live, and
Completely
I
Very,
was
very
so
different
excited,
circumstances.
so
It's a completely
happy.
different game.
You
Yeah,
could
like
tell
you said, so they don't
how
have to
that
hold anything
that
back. I mean,
that
you
man
hold
was
something
so
back,
proud
the
of
only argument
Andy.
would be
He
for
was
the
telling me
games
so
later
excited
on
because he
today,
went to the
post
world that
tiebreaker.
he actually
Before
won
these
there.
tiebreaker games,
It was
there's
like
no
so
reason not to throw
excited.
every strat that you have at the other team to throw the whole kitchen sink and hope that one of those things you can bring out will work correctly.
Question
Yeah,
is, how do you
same.
decide
Same
what's
for
the
me.
best
Like
strat?
I'm
Because,
7
again, it's the
a.m.
best
I'm
of
like
one.
cross-eyed.
Yeah.
like,
You
what
can't
the
be like,
heck?
oh, we've got a really sick Athena
I put an
solo
alarm
game that
at
we
like
could try, or we wanna
9:40
play
or something, just to start like
Baron in the mid
my
lane,
my
try
day
out
on my
this
room
thing.
to
You
be
only
like,
get one
yo,
chance.
you need to
So,
wake up, girl.
I'm really curious. I think the one god you decide to ban is also going to be very
huge.
important here, because there's been a lot that's
Yeah,
flooding
he's
the
saying
meta
that
so far. There's been
this
some
team is
throwaway
really
bans,
nice.
like, oh, we don't want to deal with Chop,
With the vibes
or,
and
you know,
the
we know that
culture and
Zeus is
everything.
really powerful,
Oh
so
yeah,
they
I
pick themselves
asked.
to go to, but
So
things like
the
Sobek,
countries
things like
that they
Emoja,
come
those are
from,
still going to
everybody
be
comes from a
on the
different
forefront of everyone's
place,
mind.
so
I
their
think
main
Loki's
language
gonna
is
be a very
in
contested
English,
pick in this set.
but they all speak English.
And it not only is it not
And
who's
it's
first pick,
France,
who's second pick, but it's also about
Romania,
can we
Croatia,
afford to give up
and
this character that could just ruin our game from the
Serbia.
start. These are the kind of things that I thought about last
I
night,
asked
and
yesterday
they're
for
all-
you guys
they're
because
both
you guys
going
been
with the
asking me.
strategy.
I'm like, I don't
How
know.
much homework was enough homework? What
Thank
was
you
too
so
to
much for the
think about?
32 months,
I think
Lunis.
characters like the Emoja,
Whee!
players like Albion,
Yep.
had
Appreciate
pixel
it.
perfect reverse rebuke in this tournament. The ultimate that cut off every
Thank you
angle
for
that
being
there
here
was
this
that started
Sunday
off the
morning with
chaos
me
of our week.
in this
And I also think
podcast.
about characters like Loki for Valo, where he's just looked like
Yeah, we're all in the same place. We're all like,
the tournament.
we're here because we love
Thanatos,
Andy.
Thanatos.
Like we're tired,
How
but
Johnny
we're
has played
here,
Fenrir
so that's
a
what
few
matters.
times. If you can lock down that Loki,
Yeah,
then
the
lock
flex.
through.
I literally don't have the flex. I'm just trying to be handy, but I have spaghetti arms.
That guy's gonna play.
Sunday cleaning? I actually like cleaning on Sunday. I feel like I reset everything. Well, I actually try to do it like Saturdays because Sunday for me is like a Monday because we start the grind on Sunday again. Saturday is like the free day. But yeah, I feel you. I actually want to do laundry. I should do laundry in the mid games, no? No, but I didn't separate the clothes. Pause is banned. Oh, let me take out the camera so you guys can see. Pause is banned, Morgan is banned, and we're picking up some Sobek. Sobek like yesterday with the 10% all resistance passive on Andy because he's from Florida. Let's go.
Whether that's over towards solo
Starting Yamoya, well, I mean, there's no other support, so I didn't expect it less. Hi, Lanny. How you doing? This is best of one? Oh, that's a really good question, which I actually don't really know. We're gonna know right now when they start the game. They always put if it's best of one or best of 3 on top of the map. Furry and Amaterasu, well. What are they gonna pick now?
You probably do have a Sobek support this time around. As far as
Slame.
smoke break goes, I like what they've done so far, but the raw from Fruit Drive for
the chicken?
definitely not a bad pickup. A lot of healing so far.
The chicken? Yeah, I actually think it's best of 3, but don't believe me.
Valo has went to a couple
the
times
Nemesis.
This
He's doing it again.
Out of the jungle has definitely came through, and it is going to get pretty good value out of that Fenrir. So I can see it. There's a lot of hard CC coming from Sobek and Amma, but you try to avoid them until you have your ultimate, and then you can kind of stay away. I imagine Jingwei is going to be the pick here, because again, Cern and Jingwei,
they got to go together, right?
They are just the yin and yang there, but as far as a mid laner, oh, there you go. Okay,
wow.
Cuckoo.
Oh, Cuckoo.
Okay. Not seen that in a hot minute.
Good, we're going to have some snipe fights. Let's see who gets the best snipes.
That we saw. Now I'd be remiss
and Hades.
Yeah,
let's not commit into that Hades with double dash and blink and this and that anymore. Let's just let him be. How you doing, Kevin?
I mean,
good morning.
I Jorby say, "Oh, Globe hits 3 with a snipe like 7 times throughout game number 2." So a great pickup for Globe. The Hades. Now that's kind of the last.
I'm just not used to have like headphones
that
with so much volume.
That really
like the volume is so loud.
That these guys had this draft in their head last night, right? Like they both
reading the flashcards.
Yeah, both of these squads got exactly what they wanted. I assume Globe expected not to get the Poseidon today. The Morgan ban may have been a wrench, but probably expected at this point. So you have a lot of healing on the side of Food Drive. They are going to have to be anti-heal on the forefront of your mind if you're smoke break. You've got a little bit of self-sustain here, but these delayed fights are not going to be in your favor. When you've got to deal with Yamoja and Ra, you need to go all in, which luckily,
I'm actually happy for Christmas.
That's exactly what they want, right?
I'm
We're going to pick someone up,
we're
not blow them up with
having anything planned or anything, but I'm excited.
Not to mention,
I'm trying to build that tradition
I mean,
with my family, well, my Miami family.
You don't really have to worry about blowing up the squishies. You can just execute a tank.
It's so cute. I love
executes, the lethality's there, the objectives are going to be crazy, but all these things, they require casters, and I've got just the pair for you. Let's send it over
you're right. We have the control cookie on our side. The control cookie is going to make a huge difference right now. So don't forget to buy one so if you want to win your games,
match, just the best
10% off.
As Dolson, Aggro, and Doug,
she's sleeping.
Bringing
she
it
knows.
To you here. Fine morning, Aggro, lots to play
sleeping in the window with the
individual matchups here. Can you avoid just even having to play later on today at all? Can you avoid matching up against some of the really good teams from Group A? I mean, there's a lot that can change based on how these next 3 individual games pan out.
Is the volume good or still out?
Huge boon for anyone who can get it. Not having to play, getting yourself in a position to have a much easier bracket at Vegas is obviously huge, but as you mentioned, even the difference between the 2nd and 3rd seed's pretty big. 3rd seed would play Borscht, 2nd seed plays Mockingbird.
Yep.
No disrespect to Mockingbird, but Borscht has certainly looked like a team
if I was a cat, I would be the nicest cat ever. You'll love me as a cat.
That's just math, if you ask me. So
I'll be
pretty important couple tiebreaker games here to start us off.
Well, these are fun because all of these teams taking games off one another, so we get to see how they've adapted, changed up their play styles, but it's sort of a fun opposite conversation. You talk about best of
Vegas to see who gets off by round and gets better positioning in the bracket
what you got in your one chance against this one
next
team.
Month.
Here today, we'll see every team play a couple of times. Early meetings in the jungle,
I'll even do
mainly
TikTok
over here
you.
on left. 3v3, mid laners and soul laners all on their lonesome over on the right side of the map. But it's Smoke Break a bit more aggressive. Maybe considering this early 3v3
doing
to
this
be a bit stronger for
thing.
them. Good damage from Ecrom and a pluck. Onto Valo, it's the perfect target, and that's forced the blink away.
Oh, we got it, so they actually
early on with his duo laner.
We're actually
absolutely
in a really good spot.
It, man. I mean, he sunders off the purple, he confirms it for his team, he gets the blink out from Valo, just picture perfect here from Elion. And I love this. Why let Valo continue to farm? My man is half HP. No relic, just a little too late. The clear for Valo just good enough.
A little bit too late,
to make
so
sure
he's
that he
gonna be a little bit under because he's not gonna get so much.
Elion, fun player to watch.
He's gonna lose like 2 minutes.
Really gets up and at him early this morning. Sends out a post. He's excited to
get
playing
a free
with
run.
the Smoke
Yeah,
Break
exactly.
team.
This is to see who gets an advantage on the bracket. For
circumstances be what they may. Elion comes in for this event. Feels like Elion and Ecrom have been on the same page, even in moments like that. That requires teamwork, right?
Yep.
To be on the same page in moments like that and play those moments right.
Yep,
I think
they've played really well.
The one from France.
It doesn't look like Elion is just subbing in, and I can tell you he's definitely not played a whole lot of games with Ecrom in his career, right? That been in 2 separate regions. They don't have a lot of natural or already established synergy, I should say, but Andy's been around the block. He's played on so many different teams. He's played so many different roles. He knows how to be a teammate now, and I think that's been very clear with how well he's played during this time.
Oh, good.
Yes but no, not really like playing together, but they've been playing against each other forever, and they know how everybody plays. Like, you already know that Andy has played competitive on all the roles, so he understands how people can think.
Keep eyebrows raised
and he has a big god pool, so he understands the cooldown and how they escalate.
Be fortunate enough to get into moments like that, but often Aggro, my mind goes to what's
Aggro's
the setup
actually
look
casting for this lane, and I'm so happy to hear
one
him.
mid laner
The goat.
Cleaner, more easy, more facilitated.
I don't know if he's gonna keep being a caster right now, but he's doing it for this
I tend to ask myself when I see those characters locked in.
Absolutely, it's the Kukulkan for SAP 7, and it really is not close. Pluck you can ult off of. Jump stun from Johnny you can ult off of. Ragnarok is obviously the easiest one in the game, but even Ama ult is very simple. SAP. I love the Kukulkan pick. You know,
I really like it.
It's something that we've seen a lot of.
To be honest, all the casters have been popping up.
Trelly and Malum's reaction.
I think it was Laramie's.
But I think it was an excellent pick here because of all the setup for Smoke Break, because it contests objective secure. Like with Globe's ultimate. But it's also great slow immunity against
she was casting for the first time. She was doing great
slows
too.
are how they kill you. Raw slows you down. That 2 slow is really potent. Now you've got slow immunity with the 2 there for Kukulkan. And so does Valo's Nemesis,
I think they're
relies
keep
on those
playing
slows.
Even Yamojo really relies on slows a lot of the time
to set up for her stun.
The same strat that they're doing and do go Fury at 5 minutes
with the 2 very simply. So I think it's an excellent pick for Smoke Break, and I'm expecting a big game from him.
I'm thinking back to
the
SAP 7 game I casted yesterday or we watched yesterday with Smoke Break. Poor Sap was just chosen time and time again. Poseidon in game 1, like 0-4, 0-5, really tough start, but ended up not mattering by the end of that matchup. And so, of course, moments like that make you think about junglers. Johnny, one of the fastest paced junglers we've got here in this tournament. And Valo's been really surprising. So much fun to watch and so important for this food drive for Globe team.
Right
so
now,
to hit that level
we're not letting them get everything from the left side like last time.
In this game.
Now we know how they play.
The type of pick that you want to be active early on, no doubt. But
how to counter.
I think that Smoke Break's a team that historically has always been pretty willing to play a slower pace.
Also slow things down.
Yep. They know how to play the
late
game fights.
Benko
and Johnny have been playing together for years at this point.
So
they know how each other want to play a lane versus play the team fights. And I think that their comfort level in that has been pretty evident. I think that Food Drive is a team that has been higher paced. You know, no surprise coming from NA, a region that is typically a little faster paced than EMEA historically. But it would not surprise me if Food Drive is the one trying to make stuff happen earlier than Smoke Break. But Johnny's flexible. You know, he can do whatever is required, and if it needs him to put the pedal to the metal a little early, then he'll be there.
Was over on right. No ultimate for Karmic on the Hades and was about half HP. but did not find that opening over in mid. Both
Zero
junglers hover as
so
well.
now
Valo,
go Fury respawn. Let's see if they're going to try to group up and do it again. Since they've been doing that strat in every single game.
Could be really potent depending on where these junglers turn their eyes. Over in duo lane,
to be honest, Sobek is so good against Umoja too, because you can escape the ult nowadays, that you can go through walls with the ult.
Leon and Echrome happy to sit back, farm things up as well. Feels like this Sobek Umoja matchup aggro is just a mainstay here this weekend. One of the consistencies in our meta has been these two supports.
And I think it's a really good indication of how strong Umoja is on turning engagements, that Sobek just feels like he can't pluck into that matchup ever. If he does, then it's going to be River's Rebuke, and yes, Sobek can use his ultimate in order to get underneath those walls, but you just don't necessarily want to be putting yourself in that spot that easily, because the chain stuns are just real easy for Happen to go into after you pluck in. But I will say I think Lurking in the Waters is a lower value ultimate than River's Rebuke, so if you're looking to set up a play, I wouldn't be surprised to see Elion start with a pluck, get that River's Rebuke, trade his ultimate, and then they try and make something happen.
Everyone from Smoke Break over here on left. The pluck connects on the Valo, blink away, and double dash. Nemesis with that blink. Get out of dodge really quickly. Food Drive and Smoke Break collapsing in on the Fury.
Oh, we got
Johnny
it? Okay,
has got the first objective of the game. The River's Rebuke crashes down, and it's given first blood right back to Valo.
I could die.
Objective to Smoke Break. First kill.
And now he's run.
That guy's gonna kill. Still maybe a chase on.
Karmic has made his rotation over, and Elion's got nowhere to go.
Globe adds another set, 7 leaps away. Man, Food Drive for Globe. They were late on the uptake around that Fury. But when they joined in the fight, they did it swiftly.
Man, I just think Johnny was just not patient enough. I guess it's not over yet. Karmic still ends up getting caught.
That was an amazing.
But that fight starts in a way that it feels like it should have been so easy for Smoke Break. Great pluck onto Valo. He doesn't have any idea that Elion is waiting around that corner. But then Johnny jumps over and allows him to escape.
Should be a kill here for Benko. If nothing else, Johnny and the rest of the team round about from the mid lane. Globe in some serious trouble. Of course, movement speed. Maybe get him beneath the tower. Benko doesn't need the help and will actually get all the options from that kill and an invade. So Smoke Break able to pull back a couple after the fact there, aggro. I mean, that early Gold Fury.
Paisy, so pretty much this is a tiebreaker, so we can get an advantage in the bracket for the Vegas lane and have a bye.
So it all settles. We're actually relatively
so whoever gets
the same spot from when that Fury
started.
But remember that in Smite 2, these Furies end up stacking with those benefits. So getting a Gold Fury and trading some kills, that permanent buff that you're going to be getting from the Gold Fury, the first one being that out of speed movement, or out of base movement speed, means that you're building towards the stronger permanent buffs after the second and third. So you're pretty much always willing to go even when you're the one who gets the gold.
I live like you. I would have forgot.
Food Drive. Over on the objective. Ultimate out as well. Spirit of the Nine wins. Splits the uprights. Misses everyone. Maybe more of a, hey, watch out. Don't fight into this type ultimate, but hits no one. And Elion takes half of his health in damage in exchange. And in these types of games, nothing happens for a while, and suddenly you erupt into the action.
And both these teams are pretty well composed to have some pretty big team fight moments. But in that little skirmish on the left-hand side, the Naga gets stolen away because Smoke Break pulled it just a little bit too early. Elion's Sunder was just coming off of cooldown whenever the Naga went down, like literally. I saw underneath 1 second, so maybe just needed to be a little bit more patient on their DPS, but maybe Food Drive came in and accelerated that DPS a little bit too much for them to handle.
Well, slight advantage out of the jungle. You don't often see this, and I'll pause as Johnny Ragnarok's forward. That's beads from Globe. I feel like you maybe gotta have them, and the Raw will survive.
So happy for
and I like Johnny being aggressive, but he also
vacations?
needs to pay attention to his farm level. He's now down 2 levels to Valo, and this Nemesis is going to be a problem once she gets into that late game. She's not great early right now, but I think she scales to be very, very strong.
Take Veer, half HP. Around goes Elion, and Echrome joins his support in safety. Hexstone forward, Tegveer's low here as well.
Such a good shield from Happen.
But we'll use it defensively. These junglers have just been working over here on left a little bit.
He's not even the war, and like if he's still positioning there, I'm gonna die.
To be here as a team, but
that's such a good rotation too.
Maybe sensing some opportunities now is Valo.
Oh, he doesn't have the ult, remember that?
River's Rebuke, Leon, tail whip, catches the ultimate from Valo, and that damage is simple. Leon unaware and now unalive back in base.
Just too much chase there after Echrome got out, where I feel like Echrome didn't really need to be that worried about his position, uses airstrike to escape, and then Leon uses Headstone to try and close the gap, and then has to use his ultimate. So once River's Rebuke goes up, he's only got one way out, so it's very easy to set yourself up to body block that pluck. Just too aggressive there from Sobek.
Stay here.
One-on-one fight, making it a 2-on-1. Globes and searing pain right through the jungle. If it connected onto Benko, don't think it did. It wasn't much damage either way. Soul Laners will live. Second Gold Fury of the game. Smoke Break confirms the first and gets the second. It's Johnny on the confirmation, but Sap7 did most of that final bit of damage.
And really good synergy between Johnny and Sap7. You want to time that Sphere of the Nine Winds and the Sunder at the exact same time so that you're not bursting it from 500, you're bursting it from 1,000. It makes it very hard for just one Sunder on food drive to come in and steal it.
I don't have anything to remember because I never remember anything.
They can burst a Fire Giant later in the game from 1,500, 2K potentially. It's going to be really hard for Food Drive to steal it.
Well, in aggro, now there's this interesting dynamic starting to unfold. Smoke Break have been on it, 2 out of 2 Gold Furies, but down a level in jungle still, down a level or 2 in support.
Yeah, no, that's
the sides
me.
of your map feel great. Benko up a bit on Karmic, Echrome up a bit on Tegvir. That's where most of that gold lead is landed.
And so, with that being the case, where your mid 3v3 is going to be behind if you're Smoke Break, and your side lanes are going to be ahead, doing these quick hit objectives is the way to go. These types of extended fights in mid are much riskier, but right now they've got the numbers advantage.
Yeah, not where your lead is, but plenty of damage. Sap7 has Spirit of the Nine Winds. Is there follow-up? Don't need it. Leon.
Nice.
In on the execute, hopping away, but just short from the escape. Benko, oh no, this is where the lead has been for Smoke Break, and it doesn't matter. Karmic lives, must have been a one-on-one damage trade here on right. And the junglers making the difference in these 2 separate engagements.
I mean, pretty solid for both teams
I'm the
in a way,
type of person
right?
that takes notes and everything, so I don't forget anything, but I still forget sometimes to check the notes.
You should be weak, you win. So at the end of the day, not too bad for either side.
Still a Ragnarok. Can you wait out the beats?
Oh, that was such a good timing from Johnny.
And the Zephyr gets it done for Sap7. Johnny, now in back-to-back moments, set up right here around mid lane, but happened back from base.
Nice.
Eyes towards Sap7. Karmic survives narrowly a moment ago. Can you do it again? No, you can't, Johnny. Up downs. And it's a moment where Food Drive thought maybe you're going to get a kill onto this Kukulkan instead. Now it's 2 kills in the last couple minutes over in mid.
So why haven't we been seeing Kukulkan again during the Founder Series? Because Sap7's making it look awesome, isn't he? I mean, hard to hit all over the place. Not for Sap7 apparently, man. He is dialed in right now on this pick. Secures the Naga there with the ultimate, but his use of that new dash attack on the slipstream has been really good. He's used it to get out of Hades' ult. Right there, he uses it to get through that Riptide kind of around it so that he's in a better position. He's used it for damage when he's needed to, and he's just been so accurate with all of his abilities. Him and Johnny right there play a great 2-man game. Getting that kill on Globe.
Do I mispronounce Johnny's name, or am I pronouncing it in Spanish or what?
By Globe,
because I hear them saying Johnny, like Johnny,
at that point, Globe has nowhere to go.
Because he has a
and
D
then
and
a great turn from Sap and Johnny again onto Karmic once happened to try to drop a little trap there for Sap.
Well, things have started to settle out in some of the advantages we've seen, not now in the carry roles.
Right,
as the
I want to watch
continues to shift.
I want to see how creative can they be.
Per minute over Glow by about 100 or so.
I'm gonna say
Same
Johnny
thing for
now.
Echrome, 2 levels ahead of Tegvir. So this Smoke Break
team.
Johnny's.
Yeah,
lose a bit of that advantage in solo. Not
I guess I'm pronouncing
gone,
in Spanish.
Carries, the ones you want to
pronounce
facilitate.
every single letter that
you talked earlier about how good of a composition Smoke Break have for setting up. I mean, specifically for Sap7, but
they didn't kill the
got to assume for both of their carries. So Smoke Break got to feel like in a really strong spot where this gold lead was very close, very narrow for a long time. Now Smoke Break are getting it in some really pivotal areas. We were looking at the Pyromancer a moment ago, having a chance to steal, but I mean, let's be honest. You got a Spirit of the Nine wins right down Main Street.
And it wasn't actually the cuckoo all that secure, though. It was Benko.
And we've seen
the missed timing's having a little bit off today. Let's see if
Valo sends out an ult, but falls on deaf ears.
Hi, Roman. Thank you so much for the 10 months.
I didn't love that ult from Valo. I mean, the fight's over. That Nemesis ult is going to be key.
Yeah, I'm
right
going to say, wee, because Andy says, hurts.
For Food Drive, this lead is starting to balloon.
No.
You've got this scaling option.
No, they're
this
not.
is going to be the third goal.
Well, I don't know if maybe they hear me
when
I speak Spanish the same, but I hear them so fast that I can understand a lot. If I see it and I read it, I might understand like 75%. If I hear it, I understand like
so
20.
Maybe a chance, but did not come to fruition.
I understand Italian more,
and come back to those Sunders. If those securing ultimates are down,
this is
we have to
the
check those.
Romance
And Happen had used his to try and steal away Pyromancer, and that's the only one that Food Drive have. Whereas you still have 2 for Smoke Break that were both still up. So I think Food Drive makes the right call in that they just weren't in that position to defend that Gold Fury, but now. 15 minutes in, Smoke Break has stacked 3 golds. They've been on every single one immediately, have gotten all 3, and now you've got Ancient Fury coming up next, which, if it's been the same indication so far, I expect Smoke Break to be there.
You feeling pretty good about Double Sunder, Runic Bomb, Spirit of the Nine wins, objective confirm as well. If you're thinking of that Ancient Fury, Fire Giant, something like that, you gotta figure your burst is going to be healthy enough.
Absolutely, and I think it would be tempting if you're Smoke Break to just say, well, we've got all these tools we just listed, let's just run to fire and do it right in their face. But their lead isn't big enough to where they can't lose the fight afterwards, right? Yes, they can do the objective at any cost if they want to, but I do think that's a way where Food Drive can come back.
If they control Cookie, that is making the big difference.
Do not want to give up a death. Not over here. The fear is big, and Karmic flips one as his dying breath goes out. The rest of Smoke Break fighting here on the right side. The jungle Ecrome's in the front line and just airstrikes away from what would have been an execution.
No, why are they always... Okay, thank you, Johnny.
Playing unconcerned. Here comes Johnny with a double already. Could be a
perfect
on the Zephyr. Adds one more. How about it from Smoke Break?
Time to heal and group for fire.
But you trade out 4.
What a play, what a fight from SAP7. My man's is dialed in right now.
The only bad thing is we don't have as much healing as they do, so right now
sneaks a little one in there and makes sure he can take him down and just buys
I thought he was
enough
gonna try to steal
Johnny
it, the Nemesis,
to come in and help after
they
Johnny
were kind
had
of
to clean up Benko's mess on the right-hand side. Unbelievable team fight from Smoke Break, and I was gonna say, I feel like the only one who feels like they can pull this back from Food Drive is Karmic, and he makes a great play on Benko in order to not just die 1v1 and fears him back underneath that tower. But the lead is too great for Smoke Break. The rest of the team fight that doesn't involve Karmic
so satisfying
or Benko
when
is
you get the good butterflies and the guy cannot even walk and you're just like...
In this mid lane, Kukulkan, now level 18, has just finished that Soul Reaver. I mean, that's going to be in.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This is best of 1.
With that
for some reason in my brain, I'm thinking best
you see
best
the
of
pen
3.
online for Echrome now with that Titan's Bane.
Okay, so if we win this,
crit. I mean,
either or we're going to have to wait till 1 p.m.
right now for Food Drive. And the thing is,
keep
Dave,
watching.
They don't get another crack
so
at
they
Smoke
can play
Break.
against
if they
Team
lose
Risk
this game,
again.
they basically need to beat Team Risk, which they were unable to do yesterday if they want to keep their names in contention for the 1 seed.
Now, I don't want to make something out of nothing here, but remember that additional, like, if we need it tiebreaker is who wins the fastest game.
When he used to play Kepri, I used to imagine him
here. You're nearly 10k up. You got a Fire Giant. You're not going to take unnecessary risk. You guys still got to win the game. Oh, that's a big Spirit of the Nine.
Oh my God,
wins,
they're committing.
In the rest of Smoke Break, now rallying around their mid laner. It's really just Johnny, but feels like the rest of Smoke Break with the damage we're seeing. And a shutdown sends 2 right back. Leon plucks Glow back.
As turns out Yamari, but someone is there.
But now you're going to lose the rest of your teammates and look
at
left
that was so good.
Echrome shoving down the left side of the map.
They committed so hard.
To defend except Karmic.
I mean, Food Drive just feels like
they
need
still
to do
have
something.
to play at 1 p.m. because it's a 3 people tie break.
Good enough. And it is ultimately, but Globe late on the ultimate, he needed to hit that off Happen stun, misses that Searing Pain, so that means Sap gets a whirlwind off.
I think committing so many ults for one.
So on and so forth, and that leads us to just an absolute domination of the map. now for Smoke Break. And I think your point on fastest
we're
games
playing
absolutely
really
in everyone's
clean,
mind,
really
namely that
clean
of
right
Smoke
now.
Break and that of Food Drive, that maybe we shouldn't be trying to force these plays to come back and win. I'm not saying to give up, but I'm saying we can focus more on scaling than trying to make the Hail Mary right now. You know, can we delay, and even if it means that we ultimately do lose, if it takes them another 10 minutes and then we can snowball on Team Risk later today, that's better for us in our tournament chances ultimately.
Yeah, a team who's losing, you know, the point differential in more traditional sports is an important tiebreaker. You still want to score a touchdown if you can to make your point differential look a little bit better. So maybe
to like screw someone over in their fantasy football playoffs, you know, anything like that.
You and I might be matching up in our fantasy football playoffs here shortly.
It would be a dark day.
It would be a real sad day.
A dark day for what I'd have to do to you, Dave.
Luckily, that day is not today. You got to give me that. The only thing I have going for me this year is fantasy football. Real football has not been.
Wow,
that's
I
love that animation.
Much sadder when I put you in the dirt.
Food Drive doesn't have much going for him here at the end of game number 1. It's interesting because it felt like things very close at the beginning of this one, going back and forth in kills. That early Gold Fury, remember, was a slight lead to Smoke Break, but then Food Drive answered back with a couple kills. Things sort of just broke open a few minutes after that, and these carries felt like they got too far ahead.
Exactly. It's just the backline for Food Drive, I feel like, don't have the damage to kill the people who matter in time on Smoke Break.
I like that.
Mean, E-Chrome's got Aegis and Airstrike. He's going to be hard to kill no matter what, so you've got to do it quickly, and Food Drive just doesn't really have the tools. Again, my eye goes to Karmic in that his build is actually pretty far along. He's got 4 completed items.
That's what I'm actually drinking.
So he can sneak into a fight and one-shot E-Chrome or Sap 7, then maybe Food Drive can hold. That's kind of the hope right now, is that Karmic sneaks in there with that stealth from Helm of Darkness. Maybe Valo drops an ult right as the fear comes out and you kill them in the CC chain. Otherwise, you're going to need a few minutes now if you're Food Drive. Globe needs to get some itemization online. Tegveer needs to get some itemization, and he has a low DPS starter item. He went for Warrior's Act to help his laning phase. When you upgrade it at 20, it comes back. It starts being relevant again, but right now, it's not really doing that much for him.
Smoke Break on it early in this game.
Let's remember that a lot of things can change in a team fight, and they're going to try to group up for Fire Giant, and let's see what's going to happen there. Hopefully we group up and just finish this up.
You're Phoenix, and instead you fight in the jungle, but
even though we have a huge advantage right now.
Stalling out and defending a bit more keen. So you still got a Runic Bomb. Fire Giant has now fallen off. In sort of counter to the original point of speediest games, you still got to make sure you win the game, right? And so it's that balancing act of, okay, can we win the fastest in the event of another 3-way tie?
They're going to try to contest.
But also it doesn't matter if we don't end up winning. You're in a pretty, I don't want to say unthrowable, but it'd be real difficult to get to that point.
And I guess he's going to
make sure to cross everything up here. Johnny, one-on-one against Valo over on left. All right, I spoke too soon. Benko's here as well. These could be some final moments. Valo fought valiantly. Does not matter now. 5v4 on the map, and Fire Giant for everyone on Smoke Break.
Well,
Karmic's in a great spot. He's deciding who his target's going to be. It's E-Chrome, but that shield from the back RP trinkets is just huge. I mean, all it did was burst down that shield. Yeah, you get Airstrike, but you kind of needed to make that play happen when you saw 2 on left. It was good awareness from Smoke Break. I think you saw them realize, like, hey, their only play here is killing you guys on right. Back up and make sure you don't get caught.
Some of these active items are just so fun to watch. Love Hexstone, Helm of Darkness. Just wander around on the Hades, see if you can get something done. Gonna need to wander to left at some point. Benko does not have a minion wave. Not yet, at least. Can't tank up that Phoenix for too long. Leon learning that the hard way. Smoke Break. Slowing things down just a bit around the Phoenixes. Benko will get this one done quickly. My goodness. Used Runic Bomb, though. So now that out of the pocket of Smoke Break. Food Drive fully stacked up. Couple of beads. Globe, Tegveer, they've got them.
Okay.
Talisman of Purification for happen as well. So a lot of that CC initially mitigatable. Couple ultimates for Smoke Break still waiting to come off cooldown.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Smoke Break is being this patient for.
I wonder too.
This Phoenix is only getting healthier from here. It was down, it was 400 HP, something like that.
I put
they could decide to back up and go for
I didn't know either until I knew. I was like,
I don't think you need it. at this point. You could go back and do Ancient Fury and Pyro, but I feel like it's only going to take a couple autos. Noteworthy that SAP doesn't have Polynomicon, because that would have been a big way to just easily poke it.
Yeah, so they were waiting for the ult so they could split
shred
push, I think.
Phoenix and shred a Hades. Dazzling offensive. Oh, it's caught out by the River's Rebuke. Looks like Food Drive caught out Benko and Smokebreak just on different pages. And wow, is this siege now just
SMITE
done?
tournament? Yeah, it's my land.
Uninterested in continuing.
So, I mean, we saw the DPS there from Benko and Necro mean that they can do a lot to that Phoenix, and that's fine. I don't mind that play why aren't we just hitting mid-Phoenix at that time, right? If everyone's going to be rotating over, and if they don't and they fight you in mid, okay, great. We will back up, and they will just get that right Phoenix. It was clearly going to happen in just a matter of seconds on different pages, as you mentioned. El Leon should be tanking that mid-Phoenix as soon as Benko starts tanking that right side Phoenix. And then wherever Food Drive plant their flag and say, we're going to defend this one, you back up here, and we let the other group do their job and kill the other side Phoenix. There hasn't been a lot of sloppy play from Smokebreak in this game, but that one could have gone better.
Unfortunately, it's the one that we're all kind of walking on eggshells waiting for, and it's clear and obvious on our screen. The Phantom Shell was over in mid lane with SAP 7. So a good catch out for Food Drive. Still feels like you're in that delaying the inevitable category, but little moments like that can start to stack up. We've seen a couple games this weekend where, you know, a team that's super far ahead drops a couple. Those death timers are a minute long, and now suddenly the other team's running down your side of the map.
Yeah.
Smokebreak has plenty of defense still standing. A couple tier 1s still around, and a lot of damage still needed for Food Drive.
Only 20 seconds on this fire, but now they've got Ancient Fury and a Pyro Bomb, so this siege should be quick but efficient.
It should be dead.
And maybe a kill onto Karmic. We just lost the soul laner on Smokebreak side. You're going to lose a jungler. If your Food Drive, Phoenix down in mid. Globe steps forward, hoping for something on the SAP 7. Get it? Smokebreak are clinical outside of one moment, and they will take game 1 of 1 here and set themselves up great
should be
for the rest of the morning.
Also, they don't have ult, so
I had to wax poetic a bit about them messing up their siege,
but
that's not the only mistake
that
Smokebreak made in this game. Phenomenal
that
showing
was
from
perfect.
them, and
that was really clean, and they played together as a team. They did the redemption from losing the other day to winning this, and
it was something they wanted to get some revenge for, and they did.
I asked Andy if they had any strat against Food Drive.
And yesterday we're talking about
the only strat that we have is to win.
Specific situation would lead us to tiebreaker. I don't know if they're going to 2-0 this. Food Drive for Globe been looking really good. And then of course it happens, and of course everyone is 2-0'd all of their set. Nobody's taking a game off one another. That opens us
Andy
up
has
to
a jersey.
really great
He's
bonus
a smelly person. I don't even know
after a
why
match
he
like
doesn't
this,
have it. He always forget it. Usually I get everything. I'm like, do you bring this? Do you bring that? And he's like, oh
shit. With an early win.
Yep.
But
Still some pressure on your match later today, but got that one game in hand, so that's great. But also, the way they did it, I think you wake up, you get into the studio, you get a win, you get it done pretty convincingly. I'm thinking that's about as good as it gets here for Smokebreak.
Yeah, I mean, 27 minutes, I think, just because the clock matters as the secondary tiebreaker, I feel like it could have been a little quicker, but overall, it's an A.
Agree,
right?
but
they did a great job. They came
playing
in,
with
they
patience
controlled,
is
they were dominant from
actually
the very
really
beginning.
important too.
And now you
and
know
not trying
that it's
to
very
force and
unlikely
rush
you end up
things.
with the 3rd seed. That's
the
really
result,
what matters here.
at the end
Just
of the day,
getting
is to
top
win.
2,
So.
I think they should be very happy.
Yeah, totally agreed. Whether it's a bye or a matchup against the 3rd seed on the flip side, Mockingbird on the other end. So Smokebreak setting themselves up really nicely. And I think this is a dominant win that, you know, SAP 7, you still get a win yesterday, right?
Yep.
But remember, stacking up
wasn't that much fun for him.
Right?
Yeah, wasn't that much fun for him.
Yeah, yesterday they were diving that poor guy, bro.
Spear of the 9 wins rolling out just a little bit, and you know, I'm thinking
he showed off that
Cuckoo
still really good.
Win here.
Well, let's see if we can watch
no doubt
some
about
more
it. I mean,
Cuckoo.
Risk is going to be looking at this, and you know, now do we have to worry about Cuckoo Khan? I think that adding a new mid laner into the pool that we haven't seen a lot of is always going to be pretty advantageous for you. But certainly, the Smokebreak team is one that they woke up, they came to play. Food Drive, I'm really curious to see how they're going to look against Risk, because they struggled against them yesterday.
Yep.
and they struggled now. So have they been figured out, or do they have something left in the bag? I'm curious to see.
It's been a great story following that team.
Yep.
So you hope that they can turn it around and keep the intrigue going. More data points on this duo lane.
True.
For Smoke Break as well. All good things to start off the morning for that team. That's it for Ryan and I on the cast. We'll go back to the desk to break it down.
That is one tiebreaker down, 2 still to go, but first one kind of as surprising can get for me.
If I had a better English,
we talked about how they can implode. It can happen, and when it does, it's usually pretty significant. And they were talking about the time and how important that is to lockdown seeding. There was
I don't think I could actually. I'll be like,
this could be 20
I don't know what to say.
What is happening?
I'll use a joke.
And we also mentioned how if you are to bring out a different strat or a different pick, now be the time to do so. And the Cuckoo seems like it came out of nowhere. I mean, definitely a strong mid laner. Takes a little bit to get online, needs to stack a Book of Thought, things like that. But if you're able to get good setup and if you're able to hit those Spirit of the Nine wins consistently, it could be a game changer. Now, I love what Aggro said. It's put it in everyone's mind now. Like, do we have to worry about Sap's Cuckoo? Is that something we have to ban? Should we pick that away, or is there other things that are just too beneficial?
Here, so don't worry
timer, as you can see on your screen, 27:18. Important in the event of another tiebreaker. Just keep that in your mind. I tend to agree as well, though.
I feel like
think
there can be
Foodrot kind of tried to stall
tiebreaker.
this game out as long as possible. Maybe because their comeback potential was there, but also just because the higher that number is, the better for them. Just in case they're able to find wins later on.
Nice to
and
see
you can't really put it out of your mind as a possibility because yesterday we were all pretty confident. Like, Foodrot for Globe looks amazing. There's not going to be a chance here of a comeback or a 2-0 for Team Risk, and that's exactly what happened that got us here in the first place. But what's always important, especially when you've got that throw everything at the wall type of games, is looking at stats and kind of finding what we can,
have you been watching the Ultimatum?
Yeah, we were also talking about the value between there's CERN, there's Jing, but there's also Sobek and Yamoja. What pick do you prefer for your squad? And I think the versatility of Sobek won the day here. The fact that it could be flex as a solo laner, the execute is so annoying to deal with, as well as just the pressure it gives you over into duo lane, helped Leon and Ecrom out so much, right? You don't have to say, hey, this is our support, we're first picking it, everyone knows that. There's also that fear from Foodrot, like, okay, we're going to take Yamoja, but we don't know, are we playing against that Sobek? Do we have to worry about it late game once it rotates out of solo lane? And I think that was also a good strategy put into place here. That
right? I thought I misunderstood. I was like, oh, English is hard.
Also on everyone's mind. It's going to be difficult to draft against this squad.
It really is,
I don't think
with one ban.
We knew that it was going to be like that, though.
But it is still important to keep in mind.
I think if we knew that it was going to be how fast can you win, we would have won faster, you know what I'm saying?
So much more important because it almost gets to a point.
Oh, we would have tried to do things faster.
As much as you're using
that's kind of weird. That makes you anxious and that makes you make mistakes.
There's a lot to break down from that game as well as the drafting and all that fun stuff. And the best way to do
there's
that
another
is by
tiebreak,
asking
you fucking
just
do draw dice and call it a day.
Leon, support for Smoke Break here with me after a game 1 and only game 1 win up against Foodrot for Globe. You lost to them earlier on in this weekend. What do you think went differently in this one-game matchup this morning?
That was just the Sap show right there. That guy was doing everything. I mean, I was just walking around just living the life of a crocodile. And he was hitting every ult. They dove him. He did probably 8,000 damage in that team fight mid under tier 1. I mean, that's all I can say. The Sap show.
Sap, seems like a pretty cool, calm, collected fella. Yesterday, despite wins, felt like getting ganked in mid over and over and over again. Couple 1 and 4, 1 and 5 starts. Do you get the sense that Sap needed a big win here today? A big Sap show, for lack of a better term, on the Cuckoo.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that he's just an insane player in general, and then today, I mean, he just showed it. Yesterday, he was running around, he was goofing around a little bit.
Sure.
But, today he was super locked in every aspect. I mean, the comms were there, and the whole team in general, I mean, Johnny, too, was just following up off Sap, making sure to clean up. I mean, they really just carried that game, and I'm just happy to be on the ride.
You're too humble because everyone knows, the backliners are the ones who get the highlight plays, but backliners don't get those plays unless their frontliners are really making the space for them, right? And we were joking on the cast. How much does this play into it? In the event of another tiebreaker, everyone beats everyone today. We we look at game speed. Is that something you guys consider at all in these matchups? Can we win it just a little bit faster? Do you play a little bit more risky around those base sieges?
We thought about it, but as you know, the EU vibes is just take it slow. We'll play 30 minutes, and I was like, guys, if this goes 3 ways, and they're like, no worries, just get the win. So I'm down for that.
Do you feel alone on an island trying to push?
Trying to go. They're like, yo, just chilling far. I'm like, but there's a kill. He's like, no, just chill. I'm like, all right.
Well, it works out either way. What's most important is you get the win.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
First win of the day. We'll see you guys in action a little bit later on. Appreciate it. Back to the desk to finish it out.
I love it. I love the idea of, come on, can we please get this kill? There's a kill right there. Guys. Sounds like my comms.
I'm like,
Jorby and I played. It sounded just like that, matter of
yes,
fact. But no, it's interesting
it's
that it
best
is
of one
on the forefront, but it's not taking priority over how you need to play the game cleanly. Because the worst thing you can do is overplay.
And whoever, if it's a tiebreak again, whoever won faster wins the advantage.
There's been a lot of comebacks this
so
week.
they're going to play against at 1 p.m.
Backdooring is always there,
right.
so you've got to play.
Because right now there's going to be a Food Drive versus Team Risk.
This new Sunbeam bow, if you have Ancient Fury, you, like Alma, Nemesis, those kind of characters can just solo a Phoenix. But I do think that while timing, of course, is important, if you just win, it doesn't matter, right? Like Smoke Break's like, hey, we got to win quickly, but if we just win both of our sets today, there is no tiebreaker. We have simply won. So that's definitely another way to put it. If you're locking in, you don't make any risky plays, you're just farming better, fighting better, then who cares if you want a little bit slower, you're going to get the dub regardless.
True indeed, and hey, the gauntlet is not quite done yet. Still 2 more tiebreakers to go before we can start breaking through that Vegas land. So before we get them started, we got to take a short break, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, more tiebreakers.
I think if Team Risk wins this, then there's going to be a tiebreak, no? Because it will be 1-1 and then the glove team will be 0-2. That's my math. I could be wrong, you already know. So what are we doing, chat? For 10 minutes. I wish I could take the camera and just go around and show you my ducks and stuff. And feed them and be happy. Or I wish I could edit the video right now with you guys. Or do something. I don't know what to do. Do it now. Literally, I can't. How do you want me to do that? I gotta grab the camera and get out of the room. It's literally connected. House turn. Yeah, but I don't have any of my things in this computer. Like any of the presets or any of the animation or things, anything. We'll go live in mobile? Yeah, but I'll have to end the live here and then go live in mobile. And then actually I cannot go live in mobile because I'm not logging in Andy's account. That's hilarious. And Andy's account on my phone, so blah, 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 blah. Marble Rivals? Question mark? Flipping. Okay, that could work. I don't know how to do that, but that could work. I'm hungry. I don't know what to do. Let's see what's about. I don't want to order. I don't want to spend money. Everything is so expensive. And if I order something, it's gonna be like $20. I'm like, what the hell? That's like a smoke break, right? I need to get a better router too. I mean, yeah, because the Wi-Fi is being pretty bad for some reason. Let me not see this. Oh, I think we can do something. Let's see. Okay, we can play this in the meantime. Wait, how do I make fun? What is this? I got my screen.
As roommates, you share a lot of things to save money.
So bro, literally there's ads everywhere, anywhere. That's crazy.
Keep the savings going and share a phone plan with Xfinity Mobile.
That's crazy.
Good luck sharing that.
Right
now, Xfinity Internet customers can buy one unlimited line and get one free for a year.
That is crazy, man. Okay, so we're gonna try to guess what they are drawing. I draw horrible, by the way. Let's see if it's not troll people though. And when I used to play this game, it didn't have ads. Look at how many ads am I getting. Plus, I have to watch an ad. I think this is another language type thing though. Let me see. Do you guys know any game? A little game we can play?
Irina pregunta.
No,
ahora
I'm done with this ads. What the hell? Which other games can we play? A ver. Games to play in. Rock, paper, scissors? Who says that? Like, well, let's play rock, paper, scissors. I should have installed Stardew Valley or something. I didn't thought about this day. I didn't know if we were gonna play like 100 games today. Whatever. I'm just watching Marvel Rivals somewhere.
Or Hawkeye are unbanned.
While we wait.
Team banned Storm.
Wait, there is bans already? Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know they put bans. And I played literally 2 days ago. Hi Ken. Marble Rivals. Yeah, maybe I can play a game next game. A quick game or something. While we wait. I should play more DPS.
Pro server for Rivals yet? Will you be switching?
You're playing ranked? Yeah. Yeah, I like ranked way more than casual just because I like going back and forth.
That's so fucking weird.
Oh, this is not me, by the way. That's not me.
Get pranked, nerd.
No way, this computer sucks, bro. Is it lagging?
I mean, like, yeah, like, well, we'd have to see what happens.
Okay, start lagging a little bit. I'm like, yo.
Just like doesn't happen.
That's
I could see
crazy.
myself playing this for sure.
All right, Moon Knight, lock it in, bro. Lock it in.
I'm dialed.
I wanted to play this tournament. There was a tournament this weekend. But Andy left.
Off cooldown.
Yeah,
they're going mid.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't really played that much ranked anymore since Andy's not here and I have no friends. But that's funny.
Oh my god, you're gonna get a million. Oh, I can't hit you.
You know, Andy is one of those people that shower like 2 times a day just because he likes to shower. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, I like hot water. Like, I hate hot water actually. Healing is so strong. Yeah, healers are really good. I feel like it's pretty balanced, even though things look kind of broken. I feel like it's really balanced. There's not something I'm like, yo, that's broken, bro. Like you cannot be doing that. The Lunes no ult might be a little bit busted, but I don't think it's the worst either.
I'm ulting on point.
We are undefeatable.
I got the Moon Knight.
Gonna sleep someone, I don't know who.
Man, just low.
Damage boost me.
Killed Manifest.
Call targets.
Yeah, those artists look so clean with this character, with Moon.
Luna Snow 1. Focus.
I got
he
chunks.
died.
Here, 5 point.
I really like Mantis, I like Luna Snow, I like Jeff, I like Raccoon. No, I mean, usually in our routine when we wake up, is wake up, go to play pickleball for 30 hours, come back, shower, stream, and sometimes after the stream, shower, depending how long is the stream.
Make sure we're breaking,
One's top left, okay. Moon low.
What's up, my love? What's a little mamita? Let's see. Oh, now I'm getting ads here? Nah, bruh. That's crazy. Oh, no, this is not an ad. This is Trelly. That's hilarious. I was like, how am I getting an ad?
Tier 5 Fallen Zeus yet. Oh my god, it even comes with Ascension passes for all 23 Alpha gods.
Don't be like this psycho and upgrade your Founders Edition so you don't miss out on Night Stalker Neath, Tier 5 Fallen Zeus, and Ascension passes for the first 23 gods.
Come up.
Upgrade today.
Yeah, that was actually good.
And welcome on back. It's Mal and hilarious. The Nitwit. And I got good news, too. Gore, totally not that scary in person. He's so nice, so gentle, not being forced to say it at all. But one thing that I'll say genuinely is Founders Packs. Check them out today because they are so worth it. The Ascension Passes, in particular, are always my go-to because they've been so fun to grind out. I'm almost there most recently on Mordred. Really excited to get that Radiant set up. And there's 3 different variations you can grab of the Founders Edition if you want to get yourself started. On the base one, you can upgrade at any given time, and it's very worth it. Grab all the Ascension Passes for the gods, for the first 23 gods, and of course, having the God Pack, which, who's ever going to argue against the God Pack? I know I won't. I got my use out of it in Smite 1, and will continue to get my use out of it in Smite 2. And, well, Nitwit, game number 1 is in the past.
Listen, man, only Dandy's allowed to call me a nitwit, and it's only when I'm being extremely tasteful, okay?
Extremely tasteful.
Extremely tasteful.
Game number 1 is in the past, and it was a shocking one for me. The first tiebreaker really threw me for a loop, but now we're in second tiebreaker.
Right.
New team coming in, Food Drive for Globe, they have to stay and endure some more, which is kind of interesting because a lot of teams are accustomed to playing best of 3s, going back and forth like that, but to change opponents essentially between a game 1 and a game 2.
Yeah, you want to stream or what?
That's a lot to adjust to in a short period of time.
Right, but on the other hand, Team Risk is coming in a little bit cold, right? You know, you just got a match. It was about 27 minutes, I believe. wasn't fantastic in favor of Food Drive for Globe, but you know they understand how the early game was played. Obviously, they're sitting down at 0-1.
Yeah, I haven't seen him at all. I don't know what happened with Mordred.
If they still want to try and compete,
I
they have to
actually
rely
forgot about
on
him.
on Food Drive.
They were
being
gonna
able
play
to win
1
here,
PM.
but they also have to rely on Smoke Break losing against Team Risk, which would help them out a ton. But that's kind of what the
they'll have
tiebreakers
to
are all
win
about.
one,
Like
and then we'll have to lose one
game.
for this to
Remember,
be a
if you're watching
tiebreak.
at home and you miss game 1,
So
game time also
if they
extremely
win,
important
they
here.
and there's
Trying
no
to
way
win
there's a
as quickly
tiebreak.
as possible puts you in good position to earn that first seed.
I can't help but look at the schedule and see the third game, and if we end up in the tie situation where game time matters, you see 2 EMEA teams, and you think, hey, that's got to be the slowest matchup that there will be, right, in terms of what we've seen in the past, but that's definitely up in the air. One thing that, too, we got to talk about a lot, we get to see it in action from SAP 7, was the adaptation and kind of out of nowhere Cuckoo, which was awesome. I mean, 26,000 damage in the previous game for SAP 7. But now for Food Drive for Globe, you've kind of got that in the back of your mind of, hey, there was a pick that everybody kind of forgot about. And there's a lot of picks we still have not seen this week.
I think that, again, we mentioned this before, but if you went back to your hotel and you sort of talked strategy here, I doubt you were planning on facing a Cuckoo. Yeah. So just because it showed up right then, you know, I guess if you see Team Risk in the lobby, like, bro, now we have to cook up a strategy for Cuckoo. I think they're probably just going to stick with what they know and say, hey, you know, Cuckoo will just throw into the mix. If it does come through and happen, SAP hopefully isn't as on point with the Cuckoo as he was in game number 1, because, again, there was a lot of those ults landing, which does a ton of damage. Anyone who's been hit by a Cuckoo ult understands exactly what we're talking about here.
Not me, of course.
No, I would never. I would juke it.
Yeah,
but
we're so good.
Yeah. Thank you for throwing me into that as well.
Yeah, I got your back.
But again, I think Team Risk cooked up their own strategy here, and they're probably not going to let what we just witnessed throwing up too much. But something to remember, this is going to be very important here. Theeks plays Cuckoo as well. Like, this is not a pick that he is.
Yeah, it was SAP 7 and Theeks who brought it to the limelight at first.
Right, so it's not something that they can't just grab and say, hey, we're going to treat this as a pseudo ban and just take it away from you, right? Like, that is certainly a play that could happen later on. It's also not something we're going to see here unless, of course, Globe wants to try and pick it up. Remember, the Poseidon was banned away from Globe last game. That was a pick that he likes to go to. I just think mid lane at the moment is very impactful for just about all of these matchups. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it to see exactly what Theeks and Globe try and lean towards here.
It's hard not to, and there's also there's the player aspect, there's the motivational aspect of it. When I think about Food Drive for Globe, who they were riding that wave of, we've established ourselves, we're such a hyped up team, people are talking about us, and Team Risk really kind of popped that balloon, you know, brought them back down to earth a little bit. And now you get to face them right away, and with not as much on the line. You're good for Vegas, but seeding is so important for Vegas that you really probably want that get back. You know?
Right, but if we're talking about balloons getting popped, I mean, the undefeated never lost a game, never lost a set. Team
Nobody is undefeated anymore.
Upset.
That was a loud balloon.
Game number 1, like that was also a balloon being popped. So maybe some, not egos necessarily, but they've stepped down a peg or two here for this matchup. So it's going to be exciting to see which one of these teams is able to find that confidence here. Again, best of 1. You just got to show up for one single game, and really anyone can do that.
Yeah, anybody can, but it does take P's and B's first to get there. So let's hop in and see what we've got. Cuckoo, of course, on the mind. Let's not forget the picks that we've seen a lot of, and Odin is the start, and that makes a lot of sense. Team Risk have used that cage to great effect.
Yeah, Odin, Sobek, which means Yemoja definitely a topic of conversation. Remember, the Poseidon was also banned away, and it looks like, wow, just trying to get Globe's hands on the Fish Boy is more of a priority here for Food Drive for Globe.
Odin
I mean, definitely a strong pickup, but there's that Yemoja we were talking about.
Going quick here, and the Yemoja to answer the Fish Boy.
They're really prior points.
It's got to be on point. I think Genetics Yemoja, of course, never a worry, but in particular, Team Risk, when they've played crystal clear as a team, when the comms have been there, when the plays have been there, I feel like that's when Food Drive got outmatched. But if Food Drive can play their own map, that's a big thing. Now, what do you grab to play your map?
I wonder why they're gonna pick a
support.
Like
the answer here gonna be the Cert and Loki. Loki went completely uncontested in game number 1 today, but not something that Valo wants to let slip through the fingertips here. And
he's very like bad.
Usually would be Jingwei, but in this case, it's gonna be the Cupid here for Team Risk, followed quickly by the Fenrir. So no real ambiguity here. All these picks, we know where they're going, right? Yemoja towards the support. I'm over in solo lane, but Food Drive for Globe answers. But wow, the Hades again. I mean, that's
like
shocking to me because it wasn't a great performance last game we saw. I mean, the only person who's really been playing this Hades well is
has no mobility.
I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of the Hades. I do think after the Loki was locked in, the face of Team Risk was really interesting to me. We talked about going home to the hotel, doing your homework. And
they're like, oh, that works?
Cuckoo hovering for Theeks, so that's just as interesting. But
he looks a lot different. Yeah, he's a teenager now. He's not a baby.
Should have get locked in, had that stepped
he's
up
starting
in
the purity
preparation. It really brings a new dynamic to today that maybe teams were sitting on picks for the right moment. With the Cuckoo locked in, pretty easy to think that way.
I mean, you have so much potential.
Me an old man is my floor, bro.
You also have to consider that Cuckoo has a lot of setup. You've got the Fenrir, you've got the Cupid, you've got the Emoji, and even the Amma. There's so much just raw CC there. But there's also so much sustain. Emoji, Cupid, there's a ton of healing baked into that composition that you're looking at the other side. Food Drive, they don't really have that same level of sustain. A nice, long, sustained fight would not really
I don't think there will ever be a SMITE 3 though.
I'm excited to watch Theeks play the Cuckoo though. That's a pick that he's went to time and time
again. We'll have to do it in 10
years
years now or something.
And looked phenomenal.
Like we have to do BR or something.
Pre-buff Cuckoo.
Hopefully.
Cuckoo took some buffs a while ago. We're in CA7 now. This was a couple patches ago. But regardless, Theeks was going to it when Cuckoo really wasn't playing that well.
Because there was a whole weekend of it where we saw, I think it was Theeks,
Let me take Sandy, congrats for that dub.
Benny all brought out the Cuckoo in the same weekend where it caught all of our attention because it came out of nowhere. And to see it come back now is wild. And Cupid, too. There's been so much talk about the Sern Jingwei, you know, you called him yin and yang earlier. Cupid has started to sneak his way in, and I'm a big fan. Every time we're seeing it, maybe aside from one or two, it's looked really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else to note, the fact that Loki still does have, you know, that incredible late game, but Fenrir is made to bully Loki, right? Like you can follow him in stealth. That was never the case in SMITE 1. In SMITE 2, Brutalize will be able to follow Loki, so the only way to get away from Fenrir is to ult out or blink out. And Fenrir has so much movement, he can usually chase you down, especially if Lasper opts to go something like Sunder or, you know, like the Crusher or Mystical Mail.
That's been the Lasper MO, is play for the jungle.
Exactly. Lasper loves to just try and invade, get active early as far as farming. He usually isn't one to take those 1v1s if he doesn't have to, but against Loki, it's a matchup you're certainly going to win.
We're going to play again, but yes, we won game 1 against
Karmic didn't have the greatest game on Hades last time.
Now they're doing Food Drive versus Team Risk, so we can do a tiebreaker.
That possibility.
And after this game, it's going to be us versus Team Risk.
Poseidon is a
and
bit
if there's somehow, some way, another tie, whoever won faster will win it all.
Final case been going things like Berserker Shield and just trying to get attack speed online. I think the Bruiser-esque build of Poseidon would also benefit from, you know, a lane swap.
I like that call. Another
Yo, send some taquitos. I'm hungry as hell.
I'm
hungry, but I don't want to eat because if I eat, I'm going to fall asleep.
Some more flexibility to do that.
I'm that type of person.
Drive gone this route you're talking about with putting Poseidon solo, you could have started off.
So right now, if Team Risk wins, there's no way there's gonna be a tiebreak. But if they lose, there's
exactly. And again, Team Risk, they're a team that knows how to play with pressure, and Lasbra and Variety can certainly find it. I mean, Sunbeam Bow Amma is really the only item you need to be able to find some kill potential early on. If we're talking about, you know, who can deal with Amma the best, you got to put a little bit more presence towards Hades there, being able to dash under Dazzling Offensive. You've got CC immunity just to not get stunned. But Poseidon's got decent enough matchup into things like Fenrir, right? You drop the Whirlpool at your feet, don't have to worry about any of the Unchained or the Brutalized damage. You really just have to hold on to things like beads. And more often than not, a lot of solo laners are picking up beads whenever possible, just because it's not usually enough that only your support is grabbing it. It's nice to have team-wide cleanse on more than one character on your squad, just in case you're not always grouped up.
Which is a good call, too.
I wonder what is happening. I think I'm bad.
A focus in solo, and you mentioned it. Amaterasu is going a very deliberate but obvious build currently.
Right.
That does leave her kind of vulnerable.
You put cilantro and onion?
Where we've seen Loki's really just sitting on their own solo and trying to get some picks because
yeah.
You can put the Amma behind.
Those are the best taquitos.
Sunbeam Bow doesn't feel nearly as good if you're 2 levels behind.
Right.
To be honest, when I came here in the United States, they put so many things in Attack. I'm like, what you guys are doing? We never put so many things in Attack. They put so much extra just to be like, yeah, look. And I'm like, no.
You have to watch the positioning if you are going to build something like that.
Less is
I do want
more
to talk
in
a bit about
Attackito.
the mid lane matchup again, just because I think Globe has been very strong for this Food Drive team, but when he has a rough game, when he has a sort of a late start and can't really get online,
yeah,
they look a lot worse for it. Like Valo still is able to find some key picks
I like
here
the
and
flower,
there,
but for me it's like
Globe's kind of ahead, he can rotate
90-10,
right, he can go
90% corn, 10% flower sometimes.
Right?
I
And
want
if they don't have that, their gameplay sort of falls apart, and they kind of just they're kind of scattered. So I think Globe getting ahead, or at the very least staying even, is going to be a huge topic here. And one thing that Theeks always does, regardless
is
of how
Odin
well
really
the
good, or why everybody's
is stay
banning
farm.
Odin?
Yep. He is consistently
he that
on
good?
point with, oh, I'm going to be level 17.
Theeks and Lazarus both.
Yeah, as well. They know how to farm even when the team's behind, and that's a scary thing to do. Just be able to understand the map so well that, oh, we're getting owned, but I'm still even, and that's very important.
It is, and I'm also looking at Tegvir too, because I feel like Tegvir has got to perform on this CERN. There's been Tegvir games where he's performed very strongly that we've seen on the Susanos earlier on, usually against Zapman. I was talking about that a lot yesterday. But we've also seen a couple of pop-off performances on your more traditional carries. But in this situation, I feel like they
I was thinking on the shield
because
too.
we know that Globe is going to
there's
try
so
to put
many
in the work.
shields
We know
right now,
Valo's
and
gonna
maybe
look
the
for fights,
shield's
but
broken too.
You've got to see it from Tegvir at some point.
Yep, Tegvir is still one of the most diverse ADCs that we've seen so far in the Founders
for
series.
a while.
Just build-wise, playstyle-wise, god pick-wise. And in this case, just going to something traditional like CERN, not going to be too crazy, but the build may be surprising. Again, we've been seeing some shifters, Berserker Shield thrown into the build, like a tankier style of ADC play. Could be annoying to try and deal with, especially against something like Cupid. Like, this is in the traditional Jing way that the matchup calls for. It's hard to run away as a Cupid. You don't have that airstrike to just fly.
Well, both teams kind of have vengeance on the mind, but somebody's got to come out the better of it. Tiebreaker time, game time. Let's send it over to your casters.
Let's go.
Food Drive for Globe started this knockout stage 4-0 in games. They have lost their last 3 games. 2 of those were handed to them by Team Risk. Jorby and Inbound taking you through the action of this best-of-1 tiebreaker. Food Drive were not able to take it against Smoke Break, and, well, we have, I would say, an interesting pick-and-ban phase here for Food Drive and Team Risk Inbound.
Yeah, and a lot of things to touch on, but I think we have to start off with Team Risk is running back nearly the identical comp that Smoke Break won with last game, and it was a comp that played very well, executed very well by Smoke Break. Food Drive for Globe really
that's
had
me.
no
I'm like,
opportunity in
ew.
that game, but
which,
they
to be honest, I was a Taco Bell hater.
It wasn't like their 5v5s.
And the other day, changed my mind.
That's not the
I
reason
still
that they won.
wouldn't
They played
pick it.
5-minute
But
gold
not
fears,
as
9-minute
worse
gold
as it
fears,
used
30-minute
to
gold
be
fears.
for
They were
me.
very on
Maybe
top
because
of that.
I
And
live
that's
here
what
for
Food Drive
3
has
years
kind
and I'm
of
like,
been to that point of being the team that started 4-0. They were playing for those early objectives.
I mean,
But yeah, no, I agree. I always do my own tortillas too. I don't even buy them. I'm like, bro, those tortillas
really
suck.
well prevented Food Drive
They
from
break, they're
getting
horrible,
the
and
free lane to go
they
get
even
the Gold
smell
Fury. And
different.
when they were so good at out-positioning them and you know, modulating their aggression, Food Drive, their farm got shut down, and we saw exactly what happened. Team Risk just diffed on them in that series, so something's got to change for them there.
Yeah, and I want to see Food Drive isolate that. This
Do they
this
even see each other?
is so
They know that they're doing
important
that?
for them.
It's
I'm glad
funny.
that they've got Happen back on this aggressive support. We talked about it a lot that you know, Happen as Yamoja is fine mechanically, but this team runs through him.
Everybody says that.
being
If
this
I'm
aggressive,
drunk, I'm
playing
like, well,
forward,
I mean,
and
if
him
I'm drunk at
paired
that
here,
point, I'm trying to survive, you
that
know?
they need to
I'm
be
just
on
trying
top
to
of it,
eat
and they need to play
anything
together,
that I
and
can
really
so I can
like
survive.
This 2v2 that they've drafted. Tegvir back on this CERN.
Yeah, the
Again,
chalupas are not
this
bad.
tankier style
Everything else
CERN
is
that Tegvir has brought forth.
different.
He is the important, the integral part. Him and Happen, if they get ahead, if they can play for these Gold Furies early, this is how Food Drive wins. But I mean, on the opposite side, Team Risk, very good 2v2 draft that they put together.
Thank you so much for being here.
We have a lot of threat, we have
I
a lot of kill
appreciate
potential.
you guys tuning in,
It's just
even though
very
it's not
hard
ending.
to kill. They're very safe,
Thank
a
you,
lot
Trick.
of sustain, and good enough clear. But this is something that we've seen Happen and Tegvir do a lot where their level 1, level 2 is so strong, you can't even walk up and soak the XP to hit that level 2.
Hi, Chris.
Inside
Thank you
this
so much
duo
for
lane,
following.
well, actually, inside the duo lane, Tegvir, Shell to help him out and survive. Who will
If
get
he
out
hit that stun,
are
he was
playing
good.
aggressive on them. So the duo lane, the better duos we've seen in the tournament so far, will continue to push forward. But my eyes are kind of on Variety. Variety was on this Amaterasu in game 1 versus Food Drive yesterday. had 37k damage for it, and it's the first 2 items that you see built on it. It's the Sunbeam Bow right into Prophetic Cloak, which just makes this Amaterasu so deadly. You heard Trelly kind of talking about it on the desk that, you know, it just gives Amaterasu so much kill potential early, but then you get that Cloak online as well, and you can box with the best of them. We saw Variety be integral in those team fights late. You see the gank in the mid lane, Globe, who did get his Poseidon. We'll find a little bit of harassment there from Lasbra.
And this is this early game that we're talking about. Happened level 3, Genetics level 1.
I think. he's dead.
He's dead.
What happened to Genetics?
No, he's not.
He get his buff earlier.
He's not.
Wasn't able to get the XP for that.
I don't know how he didn't die though.
Yeah, you need another lane clear.
I mean, this is just exactly what they're doing. They can't walk up to clear. We saw it as soon as they hit level 2. Tegbeer dashes in, and Happen just runs it down also. They didn't get a kill, but they bullied out.
Oh, they're literally denying XP right now. Musty, I love it.
Was just that one wave, because I mean, as you said, they didn't get the purple buff.
He
so
spam ults and
the
everything.
Buff. They haven't gotten more than one wave, and Tegbeer and Happen invaded the purple buff, soaked every single wave. This is like that early game aggression we needed to see from these two. And now we're seeing, you know, this split map because
being like, okay, let me
put
a stop in your things.
Variety was the one that kind of dictated a lot of these early
fights
for Team Risk. He was the one that was, you know, making plays, playing for the one ones, playing for those blue buffs.
They're actually qualified to Vegas, so
this is what's happening
he's gonna go to Vegas.
Aspra has the gank though. Tegbeer's in some trouble. He already dashed, got the stun. And Happens around the corner, will be able to slow them down.
Oh my god. So yeah, he didn't he slowed him down. He was so dead. That's crazy he didn't die.
Now, you do have Valo coming over
doing
as well.
Everything really
Take a look at it. How much fight you'll be able to do. We know how nasty Valo has been in the jungle, even when it looks like he can't get something done on this Loki. He always finds a way to get value and find damage where you didn't think he could.
And that's a feels bad for Lasbra. Lasbra's actually forced over there to try to make that fight, make that gank, because they're so far behind. They can't even win this 3v2. So Tegbeer and Happen live that gank. Valo's able to invade that speed buff. There is so much pressure right now.
Right now they're in a tiebreak, which
and this is
pretty much means that whoever
so far. This is not like a
wins
we have
this
3
tiebreak
kills,
will get a
bye
round.
We are playing the map smarter. We
It's
are playing
good
the map
advantage
better.
in a big
and
event.
Team Risk is kind of floundering at this point.
No, this is the tiebreak. So right now they just play, it's a best of 1. They just play versus Food Drive, this team right here.
In the first 5 minutes, but
and
they
just won. So now they are playing versus that team. And let's see who wins right now. And after this game, they're gonna play against versus Team Risk.
To what they're doing.
Pretty much.
With 20 seconds,
that's the word. Thank you so much, sitting.
Excuse me. They will be looking towards it. You do see Globe kind of hinting that way as Duo Lane will go for their jungle buff.
And you can already see them setting up for this. Globe is looking for this clear, going to be rushing into the jungle, and it's the same thing on the duo side of the map. And this just always goes back to that early game. There's a massive difference. Even if Genetics and Streak stayed, they can't push as even. They'll just get zoned out. And Valor's probably the best jungler when it comes to being on time.
No, they already guarantee
right
a spot on Vegas. We're just forcing right now.
Kraken.
Yeah, for a better bracket.
Eeks behind.
Food Drive. And they're going to crash onto him. They go to the back line, throughout the ult
as
well, and Team Risk steal it. Oh, they've been so good at it. Now you just have to wipe everybody out to even the score, and they just might do that. They take 3 off the board. Deeks, Genetics, and Lasbra pay for their steal.
And that is Theeks coming from behind, trying to find that steal in the Gold Fury, but DPS just stops. They just
remember Cupid is level 4 because they denied so much XP right there, so he couldn't ult and held the team out.
It does nothing in that team fight other than hit Happen, but Happen doesn't even die through that. And Food Drive, it almost felt like they were fine losing that Gold Fury because of just how hard they knew they were going to win that fight. Genetics is dead before the Gold Fury is even low enough. And for there's no rotation from Streak. Even Streak sits in lane.
How you doing?
That's a really good play by Food Drive.
I mean, you saw
Happy
it
Saturday.
He throws the Whirlpool onto the Gold Fury. He immediately backs up as Lasbra approaches, and everybody was just expecting it. They're expecting him to dive on the back line. And so, I mean, I think you're exactly right about it. That's exactly how it went. And this is now a little different. Sure, Team Risk got that Gold Fury, but you lost 3, and it almost completely negates the gold advantage that you get out of that Gold Fury. And Food Drive are finding the trades that they couldn't find last time against Team Risk.
And I like to see Food Drive switching up
deny
how
actually
they're
affected
playing the
so
map.
much
It's not
in that
just,
team fight.
you know, we have to get Gold Furies. It's our only way to win. No, they've shown that they'll bait that Gold Fury, and if you really want to send 3, have all of them die trying to get this Gold Fury, yeah, maybe you get it, but, you know, we get that first blood. We get a solo on the right side of the map by Karmic.
Karmic, that's awesome. You love seeing that. You got to be aggressive early, because just as Amaterasu died, that's when the Sunbeam Bow got bought. He didn't have it until that death right there. Karmic, that's an important kill early to try to get ahead before this Amaterasu can truly box.
And this is the best timing on top of, you know, getting Sunbeam Bow right before it. You also can now invade this blue buff and put even more pressure on Variety, because you have pressure on the left side of the map. Tegvir at this point, 1v2ing over there. You are fine on that side of the map. But when you get these leads, the best part about having a lead is being able to extend it to other parts of the map. And Karmic did that naturally. It wasn't a Valo gank. It wasn't Happen having to rotate. It wasn't Globe having to rotate. It was a solo kill that then allows them to set up that invade on that blue buff. And now we see Food Drive for Globe. Once they get this little lead, they play, you know, the map smarter than most other teams would. They play around these Nagas. Once they get these Nagas, they play for Gold Furies. And the hardest part, and I was talking about Smoke Break with them yesterday about, pause on that.
Oh yeah, Rivers Rebuke up. Happen is in a lot of trouble. Don't think he's escaping. And yep, Lasbra will get the kill. Happen gets caught, but I don't think Food Drive.
That's the only problem that I miss hard right now.
Considering how it's gone.
The mobility.
You have to be careful.
Versus Emojo too, that is just gonna wall you out, and you're gonna be dying over and over. That's the play that they need to be doing.
They got the Naga buff for the objective. Food Driver feeling comfortable, but with comfort comes a greater energy put on trying to stay focused, making sure you're on top of your vision, on top of your rotations, and not letting Team Risk just sneak back into this.
And this kill into Happen, it's a death that doesn't really mean too much, because there's nothing available for Team Risk. There's no tier 1 available to really go for. Gold Fury is still down from that first one, but my eyes are set on this next Gold Fury, because what we've seen Food Drive do is everyone sits in lane, and the only thing is Valo goes to the Gold Fury and just solos it with the Naga buff.
No,
and
all the winners, all these people are already qualified to take it. We're trying to play for a seeding for a better bracket than Vegas right now. This is a tiebreaker because everybody got the same scores.
Valo's got that full first item. He's going to be getting that second one soon, and this Gold Fury is going to be spawning. There's a lot of pressure on the map.
They already
qualified. I want to see
for
Karmic look to rotate. This next Gold Fury is very important.
Tower dive for Happen, get the freeze. Valo's here as well. Tegvir will pop a couple damage numbers in. They won't be able to really get through on that tower, though. They do force them back.
Timer?
And now the push goes back to the Gold Fury. Valo's been up here with Lasbra. They've been dancing ahead of this Gold Fury for a little while. It's not going to be a free one again. Meanwhile, Karmic over in that solo lane keeps on harassing. He's looking for a rotation over as well. It might be a full team rotation for Food Drive to get this, because Globe is getting involved as well. Starting to push into this Chaos side. Valo looking for a target. Cuckoo's looking quite tasty.
Oh, nice edges. Such a good edge.
Response. Valo will get out of it. Lasbra has the ult, forces the beads out of Globe. And so a lot of ults use some utility.
Oh, but in the back, Amaterasu.
Big burst down. Streak has to use his dash. Rivers Rebuke
nice ult from Genetics.
Ulting Streak on the back line. Karmic gets him.
Here's another ult for the Shards.
But Genetics survives for now. Gets walled on the backside. Variety gets a kill, but Genetics goes down. Lasbra gets Tegvir as well. It's a 2 for 2 on both sides. But Variety just
he doesn't have ult. Nobody should die now.
And this is a massive win for Team Risk. Not only do you trade 2 for 2 when you're behind, but Gold Fury is now nothing Food Drive can do for that. You get those trades, you play your fights very well, and actually a lot of really good relics on the side of Team Risk.
I really want to play that tournament, but Andy's not here.
It was a weird split fight by Food Drive for Globe. Like, they had the rotation earlier with Karmic, but they didn't fight on Karmic. They fought a 2v2 deeper in the jungle instead of fighting around Karmic. I think if you play that fight just a little bit slower, allow Karmic to be the one, not necessarily engaging it, but able to follow up, that's going to feel a lot better. It just seemed like they felt they had to do it at that exact point, and they didn't have to. Benko was slower. Just make sure you play around your actual fight.
You missed game 1. They already played versus Food Drive, and they won in 27 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Now we're watching Food Drive versus Team Risk, and after this game, they're gonna play a game. Smoke Breaker versus Team Risk. Smoke Break versus Team Risk.
Now look at Karmic getting boxed out.
Oh, that was such a good play from Bayern. That was such a good play.
And this is the Variety switch up on the solo lane build. Usually it's Benko. I mean, he's the one that started this build. He goes for Prophetic Cloak. Variety with the more aggressive build goes for the Pharaohs, which, you know, slows your movement speed, slows your attack speed. It makes it so if you don't position with your dash well, you will just get ran down.
Team Risk.
This is gonna be a risky fight.
Contest coming happens, waiting for a good moment. Everyone here, Globe
already
here,
has Thunder.
Keeping Variety out. Variety continues to do this on that peel.
It
makes it so hard, and I mean, there was just too many threats to deal with there. Techveer sees Variety, he can't move up. Happen also, they don't have full vision on everybody, and then the rebuke to make sure you get the Gold Fury. This is exactly what Team Risk did yesterday.
Don't forget to drink water, chat.
When it comes to these team fights,
Stay
they
hydrated.
find ways to eke it out, to slow it down, and to pull everybody apart and make Food Drive, it makes them impossible to respond to it on that Gold Fury.
And how they've played it so far, Team Risk, they've almost negated that disastrous early game over in Duo. We're talking about level 3 to level 1, level 4 to level 1 for Techveer and Streak. And yeah, Streak's not had the most impactful game, but realistically, Techveer's not done much. Most of it has been, you know, the solo laners rotating and the ones making the plays. Techveer and Streak have been, I mean, non-existent for the most part. I mean, yeah, you look at the KDs and 1-1-3 is looking a lot better than 0-1-0, but for how bad that early game started, Streak and Genetics have completely just avoided it.
I mean, when you were, what, you
were
level 4, they were still level 1. You only really got them once. Variety ult finds nothing.
Again.
Karmic, though, gets zoned out of it. Variety continues to take control of this lane.
Yeah, Ama just
he
so
had to get
strong.
aggressive early against this Amaterasu if he ever had a chance at it. Have the fear on Variety, but you won't have any chance to get any of the objectives here in the solo lane.
So far through this tournament, we've seen Amaterasu kind of pop up as this dominant solo laner. And for the most part, I mean, Sobek's been picked into it. Hades is one that has been picked into it. And yeah, Karmic found that solo, but there's really only one point in the game where this actually feels like a good matchup for the Hades. As soon as you get that first item online, that Sunbeam Bow, and then you get that defense item online as Amaterasu, it feels like you just run down the Hades, and there's no real opportunity for him to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, a little trouble too. Lasbra, as Blink jumps on it, half his health is gone, brutalized.
Oh, nice.
Surely would have put him
but
on
he should be dead.
And still, he might find that.
Oh,
Get a
nice
kill in the column for Lasbra. Just keeps on swiping the claws. And poor Karmic
that was
is
such a
just
nice play
bleeding
from
everywhere
Karmic
right now. Has no answer for anything happening to him.
Phenomenal gank there by Lasbra. Holds the jump to make sure he can follow that leap. And Karmic feels like he's forced out of his tower, so that, you blink over that wall, you think you've created enough distance, but Lasbra's holding jump that entire time. And Fenrir is not so far he's been, impactful, but we've seen a lot of low-key value for the most part.
Yeah, now in trouble. Some more. Cupid ult drops down. Genetics will get credit for the kill. Techveer gets caught by himself.
They're gonna start rotating soon.
Trying to find something of value here.
I don't think nobody's gonna die
in the
here.
mid lane, Globe narrowly avoids the Cuckoo ult. We'll get out of it. And Lasbra's here to dance again. Hopping on Happen, he does not care. He just wants you to fear the dog.
And so far it feels like at this point now, Food Drive is reeling. This is 6-6. This game is completely even, but it feels like Team Risk is up 10,000 gold the way they're throwing around their body weight.
When you look at the gold swing, I mean, it almost, yeah. I mean, I'm with you right there. It's kind of crazy how they just turn it around instantly.
And this is for Food Drive for Globe. Yes, maybe a few fights have gone out of your way, but you're still completely in this game. You should still be looking to make plays. Valo, a couple early plays. This Loki, through this middle portion of the game, hasn't really been able to get anything going. I want him to still play aggressive, and this is what I like to see. Group up in the jungle, look for something. You have a lot of CC with this Ymir, a lot of damage with the Loki also. So don't, even though, you've lost a few fights in a row,
hyped.
Not look for anything.
Like
it felt
a good
like
leader.
The last few minutes, it's been all Team Risk opting to make plays and more just farming out of the side of Food Drive for Globe.
He already played one game, and now
we'll get back to the game as soon as we can. Make sure.
And now we're waiting for this game to finish so they can play a game versus Team Risk. This team pretty much.
15 minutes, Fire Giant is up. All right, we go. And Team Risk weren't exactly gunning for it. Food Drive were. I think they feel like we have to contest this. We have to make an objective work because they feel that gold swing, right? They feel Risk dominating these last 5 minutes, and you need a win. somewhere. So if you can force a fight at the Fire Giant, find a pick
Nah, don't
somewhere,
worry. It was at 11 a.m. We woke up early. If anything,
I'm scared of this Amaterasu
you're enjoying your Saturday, your
I
Sunday.
don't know if they're going to be able to get through.
You're doing it right.
Has still just the way he positions is so good at splitting up food drive for Globe. It makes it so much harder for them to support each other in these team fights. When you always have to account for where variety is, because it's not just enough for the peel; it's the amount of damage that Amaterasu
we call
does.
someone. We call.
Yeah,
someone.
and the scariest thing about Ama isn't just her team fights. Like as you're highlighting, variety positions perfectly, makes it so he splits the fight. You can't really kill him, and he plays his life very well. But on top of that,
I want to know what's happening.
The best objective shredder in the game with her passive, this Sunbeam bow build. She just eviscerates Fire Giants. And this is for both teams. This goes for both teams where you have to be aware of Fire Giant.
Can you imagine that you had to restart and you already got all this lead?
Both teams
Someone
can
got the
shred
hacks.
Fire, so you have to get wards
Yo,
down
that one was crazy though.
And I would expect
I will never thought of doing that. That's crazy.
To look for something. They're grouping right now in the jungle.
Yes, we did won the first game versus Food Drive.
Slow this game down, I guess, a little bit, and try to find something, because they've really not found anything for a little bit. And even going back way earlier into the game with how dominant this dual lane was, Tegvir has been like a ghost. He's been not anywhere, not making plays, and even there, he's the one that dies.
This is pretty bad though. Passing like that is pretty bad because you're killing a momentum that you already have. You were locked in, you were doing crazy things, you were doing plays, you're giving a break.
Especially because a lot of the times
so
Tegvir goes
times
for that
out
shell.
and
Can't
sport,
beat to get out of the Cupid ultimate. You can't Aegis the burst. The shell does a little bit later into the game, but at this point, before you get those defense items online, shell is not going to make you that tanky.
Food Drive thought they were isolating Lasbro with that Odin ban. That Ring of Spears was
match start, I already started Food Drive versus Team Risk. Pretty much Team Risk looks like he has a huge leader, which they don't really. Only they're doing better map plays, but the goal is kind of even. It's like 1-2K lead difference, but they're doing better plays, in my opinion, Team Risk. And right now, they paused the match because something is happening, which we don't know what, but we know that something happened. It's even taking like 3 minutes already.
The Odin ban on Lasbro hasn't mattered
How you
at
doing,
all.
Grua?
He has been lethal on this Fenrir.
Happy
He has caused
Sunday.
so many problems, especially for Tegvir. He had a good rotation on Karmic as well. And
right now Team Risk is in a better spot.
Plays in that
and they're
game,
doing really good plays in the map.
The first 5 minutes, it was the same story.
I'm
And
good,
Risk,
thank you.
When it gets dirty and you're in the jungle and it comes to these team fights, it's all about that IGLing. And I just think Genetics is proving to be different in that aspect. The calling when it comes to those fights is so good. And then you add that individual ability that we've talked about so far. I mean, Team Risk are just showing you why they're the #1 team in EMEA. I don't know what happened against Smokebreak at the start of the weekend. Clearly,
he plays again after this game versus Team Risk.
They look like the Team Risk we all expected.
Oh, I love his shirt, flamingos.
They might lose their 4th straight game.
Yeah, and to repicture this, it's not, this game is over. It's still very, very close. The worry, though, the momentum is on Team Risk's side. They're the ones making the plays. They're the ones that are getting this value. I mean, just about everywhere on the map. I mean, you look over at Solo Lane.
They play against each other. Everybody plays against everybody.
Lasbro's been making more plays than Valo. We talk about Dual Lane. Tegvir had just been ganked.
Food Drive plays versus Team Risk, and Andy's Team Risk plays versus Andy's and Food Drive. Like, everybody plays against each other because this is a tiebreak.
Slowing the game down, it's, we try to get this Gold Fury, so stop their snowball.
Morning.
This just gives you time to just breathe for a second. Take
this
time.
He did play today.
You are still in a perfectly fine
at
spot.
11 a.m.
The gold lead is not there. We're
they already
15
played
minutes in the game. You are fine.
It's a best of one versus Food Drive. They won 27 minutes. Now we're watching Food Drive versus Team Risk. And after this one is going to be Team Risk versus Andy's team again.
Groupings that
for a tiebreak, and if somehow, some way, there's still a tie. Whoever won in faster,
but it starts with Valor, it starts with Happen. You have to make the plays. You have to get something going.
Everything.
Team Risk,
yes.
I
wish I could make a comment. Who do we want to win?
Looks so good, though.
Well, if we don't want a tie break, we want Team Risk to win.
Absolutely slicing in these team
pretty much.
And to be fair, This is a really good
but
game
it doesn't
for him
really
to
matter
opt
that
for
much.
the Pharaoh's Curse instead of the cloak.
Yeah.
There's not a
Oh,
ton
actually,
of
yeah, Team Risk, so we can
survivability that you need
actually
against
don't
this
have a
comp. Your
tie break.
survivability comes in the form of your immunities. And just
I'll try
getting
to
that
explain it,
lead.
but I'm
And I like that he
so
switched it
bad
up.
at
Prophetic
explaining
Cloak is
things.
so
I'm
much
like,
slower than Pharaoh's Curses. It's a much quicker spike.
I literally suck explaining anything in life.
I
I always tell Andy, yo, explain it.
Karmic got absolutely deleted. Genetics gets credit for the kill. Globe will find Lasper, though. That's not insignificant. Variety
nice.
finds 2 on the stun. Gets knocked up
Happens
on the
there.
Riptide, but Variety will still find the blade and go down to Globe. That's 2 for Globe. And they'll take that trade. Lasper and Variety off the table.
And that's just a 2 for 2, but that is Food Drive for Globe are the ones looking to make the play. And Karmic,
I'm here to his
too
channel.
far forward too quickly in that fight.
I mean, he
That
plays
is
pretty much all the
Genetics
games,
starting
to
that
be
fight
honest.
with
But
that
right
Emoji
now,
ultimate, and
they needed
Karmic
him
feeling
for
like
this
he's forced
land
to go in. Valor
at
was
the
not ready
last
for that
second.
fight to go. He
And now
did
he's
a
playing
lot
for
once the fight had
the
started, but he was not
tournament
there
in
with
Las
Karmic.
Vegas.
Karmic gets
He's
bursted
gonna play
way,
next
way too
month.
quickly.
Right now, he's
But it was a
playing
really
for
nice
a better
trade.
seeding in
And
the
so far,
bracket for Las Vegas.
Team Risk,
Yeah, he pretty
lot
much
of good
plays
team
any
fights,
game
but
competitive.
a lot of pressure has been onto
Literally.
Lasbra because he's the one that's. It feels like he's forced to go in first a lot of the times. I don't know if they plan on it. They want Lasbra to go in and they want Variety to wrap around and clean up fights, but Lasbra's going in, and whenever he looks to go in, Tekvir and Globe back up the perfect amount and then just collapse on him and get enough damage to the Krakens, stuff like that. I almost want Lasbra to play it just a little bit slower. Like if you maybe had one more item, you could maybe do that, but a little bit slower.
The dance of the Fire Giant begins. Genetic here to help. Appen tanking all that Fire Giant
Let's see
damage.
what
They're here to
happened.
contest this. They could steal it. Drop the ult. Cupid on everybody.
They did destroy the Fire Giant, but it's looking pretty bad for them now.
Oh!
Oh,
doing a ton of damage. Variety takes down Tekvir. But Tekvir actually
this is
gets
such a
credit
good
for that
trade
Genetics
for
kill.
Team
And
Risk.
Valo's just trying to run, but there's
Unless
no escape from
Glove
Variety picks
and
it up. And
Karmic
this isn't going the way they wanted
clean
it
it
to.
up.
Karmic has one, but Globe falls.
But not
and
enough.
Karmic is the only one left with the Fire Giant buff. Variety keeps
Variety has it.
slicing
Oh,
him.
he has no
Karmic
mana
trying to
though.
get out of it, but
He
the
could die
god
there, yeah.
of the underworld might
This is
find
such a
himself
good
there soon
trade
again.
for
Thieves is still
Team
alive as
Risk.
well.
Even though they
Tier
got
one
the
goes
Fire
down.
Giant, the other team,
Jorby,
doesn't matter.
why do we
They all
get
die.
the Fire Giant and fight after? Let's take our win when we get it. And that's not even, you know, Team Risk running you down, forcing you to take the fight. Valo ulted in. Valo re-engaged on that fight. And if you use everything to try to burst the Fire Giant, you try to use your Sunders, you try to use your ultimates, like that's what they did. And then you fight after, it's gonna be a disaster. Like that was not a close fight. They were tail between their legs, running away. Karmic
Next
lives,
game.
yes. What's the point of one
after
Fire
this
Giant?
game.
I mean, I guess if your idea is, let's completely just put this game to a halt. Let's just make it so nothing is really available to push this game. If that's your idea, fine.
My
But
pleasure. How you
the
doing,
opportunity
Sparky?
you have to get this Fire Giant on all 5 or maybe 4, because Happen's probably dead no matter what, is so much higher. Let's get Fire Giant and let's get out.
Yeah, you're looking for a decisive win, right? Not one that just stalls it out. They did get a little closer to evening up the gold. It's basically even now.
No.
Now the fight at the Gold Fury.
Oh, such an unfortunate.
You're right. It feels like Food Drive when these team fights start.
Jamoya,
It's almost
thank
a
you.
little bit of improv from them. And the plan kind of falls apart after Lasper jumps in. River's Rebuke is up to isolate Happen. Happen's not really too worried about it. Pops the shell. Ragnarok fire. And the ult from Cuckoo finds Tekvir. And the poor guy has just been bullied all game. Happen is
Happen's
next up.
dead.
He's gone. Valo does get a kill on the other
Sorry,
side of it.
1 for 2.
Theeks with credit on
Doesn't
Happen.
matter, we got the
There's
Gold
not
Fury, I
really
think.
a full way in with Happen off
Unless
the table. You lose a lot of your
Flo
front line.
still has
Karmic is
an
here,
ult,
though.
and it's gonna
They
be a
wanna
big
contest
crack,
this.
and if they
Wanna
can
make
put it
sure that
together.
Team Risk don't get this Gold Fury. You do have the whole kit available to Karmic. Globe here as well. Team Risk, they're
Yeah, they're not
hesitant
gonna
to
do
start
it.
it.
They
wanna make
knew,
sure
they
know
knew.
where exactly Karmic is. He's the only one with the Fire Giant
This
buff
is
right
too
now.
risky.
And I like this for Team Risk. You don't have to go for this Gold Fury. Karmic is very, very strong right now. He has that blink. He has the ultimate. There's just too much threat on your backline. Yeah, it feels like you should be able to get more than what you got, but Variety zones, and this is like vintage Variety of his team kills 2, but he dies. This is exactly
I mean,
what he
that
wants.
they're
That's
taking
a good
so much
trade.
time.
But
It's so good for
Karmic
us.
is just still too strong. Globe still has that ultimate, still
It's
has
20
that
minutes
beat.
already.
There's just a
If they
little
don't
bit
win
too
in like
much
8
strength
minutes,
for
we're
Food
gonna
Drive
have
for
an
Globe. That's why I
advantage in
like that
case
Team
if there's
Risk
a tie
opt to
break.
not do that.
Karmic in trouble now, got Ragnaroked into the tower. You got too aggressive, hungry for Yamoja, but Yamoja ain't answering the phone. No. Kraken comes up, gets a lot of damage out, staying alive with an inch of his health, but he gets absolutely deleted by Theeks.
And as I said, Ymir versus Yamoja, Yamoja just way better.
Get out of it, but not for too long. Theeks with another kill, and he's getting racking them
so fast
on the Cuckoo. Tegveer, what are you gonna do? Haven't been able to do anything all game. You're stuck in the whirlwind, the tornado. Goodbye.
It's a disaster. That is disastrous
so
play
what
there
Lucky
by
should do is just try to split.
Karmic unable to use ultimate, unable to use blink, just gets comboed by Lasbara.
So they cannot really push that hard. That is gonna be hard for him.
The worst case
There's no fire giant, so it's really good for them. But they're gonna try to start pushing everything.
on the map that Team Risk can get. They can now get these finished items. They can now play for these Gold Furies, get even more items into their builds, and the highest point right now is Theeks on this Cuckoo, who's been, I mean, this fight specifically, ran through this fight, but now he's going to be even, you know, deeper into the build. He's going to have this op shard. He's going to be able to one-shot happen now. It's a big worry if you're Food Drive for Globe. There is very small opportunities on the next Fire Giant fight for Food Drive to make, but it's like this Team Risk comp around objectives, it is very easy to play. It's so easy. We have Shred, we have Sustain, we have Zoning, and unless you're making this massive play, like if you're Karmic, it's just going to be very difficult to defend an objective.
Yeah, I really wonder what Karmic was thinking in that mid lane dive.
Disaster.
Against Genetics, you get riptided into that. There was no one to support you. And why take a risk there after you had just evened things up? It was still close at that point. And now things become even harder for you. It's just difficult. But now they're chasing them down here on this right side. They really want to force the fight again.
And actually a really massive misplay by Team Risk. Nobody picked up the bomb after getting it, which is, I mean, that's 1,000 damage on this Fire Giant. If you miss this Fire Giant, you don't secure it. That's something to look back at.
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't won any of these team fights. Do Team Risk even feel like they need it?
Right now, what they might do is
exposes. That's Genetics.
Oh, that's such a good Genetics ult there.
Thrown it through the river. They completely misses from Theeks. That's a lot of damage on the table. Now Lasbara's in trouble. Karmic on the back line, trying to burst, misses Cuckoo, but traps Genetics, traps Variety, and has no health left, has to blink out. So there you go. They get one. Food Drive, everybody survives. Karmic is forced to back. They
have an advantage. Oh my god, he almost.
Fire Giant. Team Risk certainly don't think so. They think they can go forward.
And Fire Giant is now down to 8K. There's not a ton of contest here by Team Risk.
Wall up as well, no ult from Cuckoo, and there you go. Order stays it. Valo.
They got the Fire Giant. Now we're kind of evenish again.
They've honestly, Risk have stolen so many objectives Food Drive over the last 2 days that I just expected it at that point.
And that's a really good fight by Food Drive for Globe. They get that pick, and it was a very good setup into the pick. Genetics is that first view, or the first idea by Food Drive for Globe, but it was a bad play by Team Risk. They were completely split.
Now they're in some trouble here. Getting 2 towers down, the tier 2
gonna try to split push all the towers.
Is down. That helps even up that goal a little bit more.
All the towers.
Things swing back. It's so crazy how one fight.
Literally like, oh.
You've been slowly bleeding out. You find a way back into
the graphic.
Food Drive are surviving right now. Make no mistake about
it. It's a good game. Yeah, it is a good game.
This 1 seed, they're hoping for a 3-way tiebreak again here after losing the first game against Smokebreak.
And I've been really impressed in these fights with Valo. I specifically said Valo and Happen are the ones that need to take that step forward. Happen's been fine, but really, Valo's been zoning Theeks and Streak so hard that they feel uncomfortable even walking up. And as he's hitting this level 20, he's getting more damage into his build. He's more of a threat. Valo's been not grouping ever, and I mean, you don't expect a Loki to ever group, but he finds these ways to get to the back line and poke them out minimum, and at the maximum, they're completely having to reset, they're completely backing up. And Team Risk is not a team where, when you see them team fight, you rarely say, that was a sloppy fight, that was too split, you have to be grouped more. But that's 2 fights now in a row where Team Risk has been way too not grouped.
Karmic sitting under here with the helm. Trying to get a lot of that damage out. Burst out ult. Genetics.
No, it's looking pretty good for Team Risk right now.
Coming forward. Streak actually.
It was sounding really good. Now they're gonna get the Phoenix. They should get the Phoenix.
That tier 2 still has to fall. They can't pressure them in there. Now they could if they wanted to with the health bars. I don't know if that's advisable. Globe avoiding
they should all get the Phoenix right there. Now they all healed up, so it's kind of risky again.
A lot of health here. They may want to take it. It's a 4v4. Health bars aren't really in their favor.
They can't do this.
Cracking up for
no, they're gonna throw. They're gonna throw right here. Oh my god.
Got absolutely blown up there. His health is gone. He couldn't do anything else. Variety also. We thought that might have been unfavorable, but they're being a little picky with when they choose to go in. Now they're going for the Phoenix.
Yeah, they did got it. It's pretty risky, and I still think they can die.
As well. Variety almost found happen with the wall.
Oh my god.
Street gets him. Moving back, Valor picks up another with no Phoenix to survive, and Valor just trying to escape.
Valor's doing really good at just finding an opportunity and not grouping up.
Come up quickly, decoy to escape. You get silenced, you get stunned, you get deleted.
And that's 4 dead in just a second when Lasberg confirms this kill. Team Risk has a lot of opportunity to even this game now up after that left Phoenix goes down. And honestly, Food Drive for Globe had no business even going for that Phoenix, but Team Risk, for some reason, after an awesome defense, a lot of damage, chases outside of the Phoenix, and then they get punished chasing into this Poseidon, who returns just so much damage.
And now they're back.
I want to see, like,
kind of buggy.
Both of these teams, obviously, we're playing for a lot right here.
This is the most even game ever. But like what matters is this timing.
And then instantly, seconds later, bad play.
And we're about to be in a way better place right now if there's a tiebreak.
Bad play where they still stick on the Phoenix, they get the Phoenix, and there was still a window of opportunity for them to leave. But then they doubled down.
With Tegvir.
They doubled down on it. And like, even if you just lose Tegvir in that fight, you're fine, because Streak was dead. And that's okay. But now, it's a different story again.
I love the graphic.
There's too much burden.
To be fair, I think Food Drive for Globe is still in a fine spot. You've broken that left Phoenix. You had that pressure running down left until Fire Giant's up for the most part.
That literally
so you
is
still
my
have
thing.
that opportunity. And last time we saw the fight around Fire Giant, it was Genetics is the one that they first look at, but Genetics is not the target. That's just to get the fight started. And then it's Valo and it's Karmic are the ones that are looking to dive. But again, to focus on this next fight, Valo and Karmic are the ones that are really winning these fights for Food Drive for Globe. Karmic on that left Phoenix just goes a little too deep too early again, where if he just waits it out, you kill Genetics. If you don't go in right there, there's an opportunity to get middle Phoenix also, but he goes too aggressive too quickly. I liked a lot more how he played this fight on the right, where he goes in deep and then he blinks out. If he has that blink, I think it allows him to make more plays. And as you see, his blink is available. So my eyes, Karmic is going to make a play here if Food Drive for Globe is going to win the fight.
Well, I think Food Drive for Globe, you know, I'm not a tie-break master or genius, but I think even if they win this and then Team Risk beats Smoke Break, where the time is right now at 28 minutes. Remember, Smoke Break won in just 27 minutes plus. And if it is a three-way tiebreak, it comes down to how fast you won your game. So even if
so if we lose the next game,
locked out of the 1 seed again. That's not
If Team Risk wins this and if Food Drive wins this and we lose the other game, we still win.
That 2 seed happened. Locked up onto him. Lasper jumps on as well. The ult finds nothing from Theeks. His last 3 ults have found nothing.
So now,
Phoenix right now, there's
I want Food Drive to win.
Half over on left side. I actually don't like.
I wanted Team Risk to win, but now I want Food Drive to win.
Make somebody show up in left here first, which gets confirmed right now. Now, if you want to make a play, you should. But the problem is, Happen was 1/3 health. Now they can't make that play. Variety is free to go back, push out this left Phoenix, and now that little advantage of this left Phoenix being down that they had, Variety can now push up the next wave if he wants to and teleport over. Because that's something that we haven't really, opened a ton up with, is you can push down left and then use that TP over to right side of the map. And Fire Giant, 16k health.
This is gonna define everything. Whoever wins this team fight, this Fire Giant, this everything, is gonna win everything.
Trying to do what Variety does, and there they go.
Okay.
To make it. Can they find them? Karmic, Loki, going together in the dark of the night. They slay Dinks on the backline. Explosion.
Oh my goodness, Karmic is dead.
Pulls him out of it.
But he's doing great.
He's gone. But Valo still throws the daggers and keeps on collecting heads.
Might be there. I don't think so though.
Still, Valo finds ways to make plays for Food Drive for Globe.
He's gonna keep chasing them.
The double invis there was awesome, and at this point, Valo, all he has to do is just not let Lasber back. If Lasber doesn't back, we could be calling game right here. He found him. He stopped his back.
Valo chasing him down. It's not safe, buddy. You gotta get out of there.
Oh my god. And Loki's way faster. Yeah, they might win the game right here.
They know it.
The only person that can defend is Genetics, and he doesn't even have ult. That sucks.
This Titan health bar is going to melt. They don't need the Fire Giant. Globe sitting under it.
Yeah,
it's still falling. Food drive for Globe.
Food drive for Globe did it
awesome
again.
Food drive for Globe there.
The good thing is that if we lose the next match, we still win. So
they find both backliners grouped up together, and
I think it's a win-win, no? Or what?
Well, if you're taking this Hades ultimate damage, and then you're also getting stunned by the Loki, you're both dying, and you're not living through either of it.
Impressive stuff at the end, and of course it's
I think
alongside with
unless we lose in less than 27 minutes, we win. I think
he has been one of the best junglers in SMITE. The way he has played, the way he has
they lost versus us. Now they won versus Risk, and now we're Team Risk versus Team versus us.
At the tournament, and despite some sloppy play, this was not a clean game. We talked about all of those things, but Team Risk also had some sloppy moments as well. So I mean, great job from both teams, really, for most of that game to make up for that. But then Food Drive just close it out.
Yeah, and that's multiple stories into that game. But I think the most surprising thing is how
they won.
Sloppy Team Risk's team fights were. Like, that's kind of their calling card. They're not the greatest early game team, but they macro well.
Good.
Yeah. And yesterday they played really well. They had came back after that day one loss to Smoke Break. They just team fought weird, and it was almost like Food Drive for Globe saw what they needed to do, and it was we need to dive that back line. If we can do that, we win this game.
Well, Food Drive do win the game, but I really want to know what Malum and Trelly have to say about that one, guys.
Well, good news. I have our answers. We were talking about it. We were watching. We were equally shocked, and we had to jump up and get in here as the game all of a sudden pivoted on its head. A crazy end, the perfect utilization of the double invis and the helm, active items, stocks still going up for those who have been following that arc, and it gets more impressive every time. But again, Food Drive for Globe, they seem to have a resilience that of all the things we've talked about them, I feel like that's one aspect that we may have overlooked.
Yep, and definitely something to consider, something that we brought up already.
Are you gonna hear
30 minutes just about for this one, so it was slower than Smoke Break's win previously. We can talk about the possibilities on our next desk for one more tiebreaker to go. But regardless, Food Drive for Globe, I mean, they should be hyped about this one.
They should.
Another team that was able to take an L on that very pristine record from Team Risk. And I tend to agree with what the casters were saying. It was a bit sloppy. The team fight was, I mean, all you have to do is win that one team fight. Again, it's best of ones. We talked about that in the pregame desk, right? You don't really have to, come out swinging and make sure that every little play is hit. You just need that one perfect engage. And it seemed like the combination of the Invis, Hades, and the Loki showing up to the back line just broke that fight wide open. I mean, there was a time when I thought Lasbro was going to get a meaningful Ragnarok off, but just couldn't connect. There was a lot of CC immunity to deal with.
If I'm right or
and the Fenrir looked relatively good, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take a Loki that can 100-0 someone when we reach that point in the game, right? It's just so much stronger.
I saw that same exact Ragnarok as you, where it felt like they might have had an early pick on to happen, and maybe that could have turned into more at the Fire Giant, and that's kind of another aspect of that whole game. Objectives felt messy from both sides in a sense, just in the fact of it never felt like anybody ever felt fully confident.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think
some kind of risk aspect
Smoke Break versus Food Drive looked way cleaner in objective-wise and map plays than how they play against each other right now.
To make meaningful
it was always
decision, high-impact plays in the middle of team fights.
And another thing that I want to shout out is Karmic's ability to take this Hades again after the performance last game, right?
Unshaken.
I was not a fan of the Hades solo from Karmic. I didn't love the build. Me and Bobby were questioning it. Why do you need Obsidian Shard if you're just blowing up squishies? Why are you going pen?
Yeah,
just
and
get
it
as much
looks
in
a tad
as
different.
possible.
Just a little bit.
But this is a night and day difference as far as I'm concerned. Sure, the stat line doesn't look fantastic, like 5 and 6. That's kind of the play style, though. You're going in, you're stealthing to the back line, you're getting a kill, you're probably going to die. But you've traded out your life. Especially with so much on the line here, I was amazed that Karmic went back to it, but I'm glad he did. I mean, the gameplay spoke for itself here.
I like how unshaken, and I just like the commitment to it, because we talked so much about the needing to be confident in what you were going to play because you had limited time. You had that one shot in the best of one, and it seemed like Food Drive for Globe had no worries, no issues with it overall, and I find myself incredibly impressed by it.
Yeah, absolutely, and now we got to consider the possibility of more tiebreakers as far as just timing goes, because again, We saw an L just then, but now we got our dub. We have one more tiebreaker to go after this. Exciting stuff. I mean, what more could you want? We are in Vegas, essentially. We are so close.
Funny you say it. I know one thing we could want, and it's the thing everybody always wants during games like this, to hear from the players, and we've got one standing by with Jorby.
We do indeed, Mal. We got star jungler Valo on Food Drive for Globe with us. Valo, first of all, I want you to take me through that last team.
I'm so hungry,
You and Carmack
Chad.
were sitting in
So
the grass
hungry.
in the jungle for what felt like an entire minute, waiting for that team fight to develop. What are the comms like leading up to that moment in making that decision for you guys to go invis together on that back line?
Yeah, well, we just came up with the idea to sit in the bush by blue buff, and then we told the rest of our team to pull Fire Giant. We were just looking for a flank, and you know, once we passed the Fenrir, it was just easy. We got to their back line, and when they don't see you, I mean, they just explode.
I mean, it certainly was an explosion, but I mean, this game kind of had an ebb and flow to it where there was a little bit of mess on both sides. So in some of those fights where it felt like Team Risk, they were starting to get the better of you guys midway through that game. What's going on in the comms in that moment? What were you looking at Team Risk, and what did you see to try to exploit?
Well, yeah, we knew we were on a timer. We lost the last game in 27 minutes, so we really just wanted to run it down. At a certain point, we just wanted to end the game as quick as possible, and to do that, we just had to force Fire Giants, whether they were bad or not. We just had to get the game going. So, you know, it worked in our favor.
Okay, I
but
see.
yeah, it was just what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, you've looked really good on this Loki. Really, it hasn't mattered what character.
Yes, he already played once. They won. Now we were watching this game, and he plays after this game. So in like 15 minutes,
your
10 minutes.
preference, or is like, you know, you obviously haven't been able to play any Thor this weekend, but like, what is the jungle that you most prefer, that you're most comfortable with?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Loki. Nem's fun too. They're just two completely different styles. Loki's, it's just a fun god to play, and ever since they added the reset on the one, it's just super fun. You can make plays on it, and it's my personal favorite, yeah.
Well, you look pretty good. Last question I have for you, though. Team Risk versus Smoke Break coming up. You guys couldn't take it against Smoke Break. Now you beat Team Risk, but who do you think has the better lineup there? Smoke Break already beat Team Risk once.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. If I had to guess, I'd say Risk would win the game. That's my guess.
All right, well, there you have it, Valo. Thank you so much for coming on for the interview, man. That is Valo from Food Drive for Globe. Malo?
Thanks, Jorbs. And I will say, when you guys see Mercury in SMITE 2, Val stocks up even higher. That's another exciting one. But I find it interesting to hear. You know, we're gonna have a lot of time to talk about the game in the future. But to hear the Valo calls for Team Risk, I find that interesting, considering how good Smoke Break has looked against Team Risk.
Well, first of all, am I allowed?
I mean, I guess he wants them to win, so it's a tiebreak or something.
I've never heard that.
But either or.
I called him it this morning and I liked it, so yeah,
okay,
I'm sticking with it. Well, I give you permission. We're both Anthony's.
Jorby gave me the
100% that I'm right.
Look at that.
95%.
Thanks, Jorbs.
Right.
Bye, Jorbs.
Great interview, first and
We'll
foremost.
have to lose
also, Valo just
in 26 minutes.
Just telling us Loki's his favorite. I would have never guessed.
Maybe
by the 12 Loki games we've seen him play.
Totally
fantastic every single time. Definitely something to watch out for. But hey, if you're Food Drive for Globe, just sit back because you get to watch both of these teams now duke it out against each other. I'm a bit surprised that he favors Team Risk just because they just came off that loss.
Yeah.
Is that going to, you know, buff them and buff their mentals, or are they going to take it harder? I'm not really sure. We need to see cleaner team fights, though, in the next matchup, if that's the case, right?
Because
Smoke Break is definitely a squad that can exploit those weaknesses. They can punish you, especially if you show up a little bit sloppy. So, excited to figure it out. I imagine they are brainstorming as we speak, trying to, you know, put a little bit of a damper in the plans of Smoke Break, but it's only one way to find out.
It's only getting more and more chaotic. We're getting closer to another tiebreaker. We've got timings that are starting to matter. We've got games that continue to be exciting. One more tiebreaker, and that tiebreaker lies on the other side of these messages. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Dale, Chad, be right back. I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit for you guys. We're back. Small meal. Yo, does it happen to you guys? You go to the fridge like for the 10th time to see if there's something new, but there's never gonna be anything new. I've been there today like 3 times already. I check it out, I'm like, sheesh, there's nothing. I just close it, I come back, I'm like, maybe there's something now. I found something now. A little snack. I'm gonna make a mess. This happened to me 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I opened the fridge. I'm like, okay, there's like 5 eggs, but I'm not gonna make an egg right now. There's milk in a dream. Close. And then I opened the other counters, and I'm like, sheesh. There's nothing here. Like there's things, but I'll need to cook them. So I'm like, sheesh, bro, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, I don't even know what I was expecting. I knew that there was nothing. I have some white cheddar cheese with sea salted roasted almonds and dried cranberries. Anything is better than nothing. Wait, I adjusted the camera? I think I didn't. Oh, I did. I guess I'm tripping. Because I have chips, but I don't want to break the chips and then cry because I have a heartburn something. Which I used to do it back in Mexico. Breakfast some chips or something. Terrible. Hot chips? Yeah, it's actually jalapenos in mine. Would have been funny. A ver, pues. Oh, this guy plays Overwatch. I know him. Oh, this is actually good. I have a lot of this in my fridge. Andy always eat them and I never do, for some reason. I've been trolling myself. Oh no. I just want to watch this over, bro. I just want them to win and just be happy. So we can all be happy. You know what I'm saying? Is anyone from here going to Vegas? To Las Vegas? Is this muted? Oh. Oops.
Someone scratch my back. Come back here. Capture the mission area. You're ready for it.
Use Mac all.
All eyes on these coordinates.
My spell is nearly smart. Oh, I'm going back though. I'll die.
About that last part.
Yo, Groot, can you come back?
This is
real fire.
I don't have.
I hate that stupid ass noise.
We can't even go off the map here.
dealt with Moon Knight's Arc.
Because you got to do it quick. It's Malm and Trelly, and it's more and more of this tiebreaker gauntlet that has been surprising, shocking, and now it's a speed case.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for those who are waiting on SMITE card to come back, I've got really good news.
Oh look, they're both names as Anthony.
Well, they're not going to ride any carts.
That'd be so sick, though.
I would love it, and you know what? Clumsy constantly tweets about it, so we can cross our fingers. But yeah, we're coming down to the wire here, and that's kind of
I know like 10 Anthony's
right?
already.
This tournament is to always have impactful matchups. What you never want is to the point where these matchups mean nothing, and that is not where we are currently.
Not at all. So it's gotten kind of complicated, but the easiest thing to remember is Smoke Break, they're sitting really pretty if they just can play a good old-fashioned long game of Smite.
Right.
If Team Risk, though, if they're able to take the victory, if they're able to kind of speed
They're
their
on
way
their
through
clock.
things and beat the time to beat, then it gets even messier.
Right. So Team Risk needs to win this game under 27-18, I believe was the exact timer.
Yeah, so write that down, get it in a
27,
notepad, get it ready.
18.
It's going to be mentioned a lot.
Extensively.
For this next game.
Extensively so.
And for Smoke Break, you get this really interesting dynamic of you're kind of playing to just keep things going.
Right.
We were, before we came on, we were all kind of talking the fun scenarios you could see. You could see a lot of Stampede active built, Pyromancer bombs. And then if you're on defense, it's all right. Let's get Yamoja, let's get Odin, let's get Ymir, and here's your times to beat if you're trying to make it happen. So Food Drive for Globe, 30 minutes. Bit longer side compared to what we've seen for some games this week. 27-18 though, that Smoke Break was able to post. That's the kind of complicated one for Team Risk.
And yeah, Smoke Break again, just waiting out the clock.
Yeah.
That is their plan. Once the timer hits 27-19,
So what's
going
gonna happen is that they're gonna have so much pressure
and that's
to
the
win
benefit
this,
of just
and they
winning.
might
And
make
you know
a
what?
lot of
Smoke Break could also
mistakes,
simply
and we're
win.
chilling.
That's another
We
idea
don't
for
want them
them, right? that makes things
to win.
real easy if they
Fast always.
simply win the game.
So they're gonna try
And
to
that's one of our
force some
benefits as well.
fights.
That's all you got to remember, right? With
Well,
the
it's
timer,
easy.
the casters will be bringing it up constantly. I can assure you that.
Literally, SW. Who can speedrun Smite the fastest?
Smoke Break just
Actually, Andy has a
at any
YouTube
time.
video like that within 10 minutes or
I
something.
do wonder how it's going to impact the
Oh,
game,
man,
because
need.
100%.
One thing from what we were talking about where I've landed is it's going to be one of two things. It's just going to be another game of Smite 2, which is awesome. It's going to be a great game. Smoke Break and Team Risk, they've played each other a bunch. We're in a situation now where it could make it even more interesting. Or we're going to get one of those write it down, chaotic memories. You're sending the VOD and some clips to your friends of like, I don't know what I just watched. It turns into, and I like exactly what you said, which was, at 20 minutes, it gets to this point of, are we in a position where we can just run it down? And how can we make this happen? Like, why not take the chance to do it?
And there's a possibility we see Team Risk just group up in some grass at around 20 minutes, look for an ambush, get some runic bombs, maybe try and backdoor. Like, those kind of strats, the ones that are win or lose the game on this, are never really viable until a situation like this, where it's best of one and you're on the clock. Like, that opens up so many doors for us. Team Risk didn't have that much time to theorize about this, but I want to see what they cook up, because again, they have to win quick. That is exactly what they're thinking about here.
You've got to win quick, and it's all about the picks that get you there. So
Yep.
let's jump in the P's and B's for this game and see where we go. Team Risk, they do have the first pick for this, which I feel like in this situation kind of helps, but at the same time, if you're going more creative,
Their
it
first
may not
pick's
make that big of a difference. It's going to be a wild one.
I think.
It certainly is. Team Risk in that first pick slot. Thinking about their ban, and they opt to go with the Fenrir.
Yeah, so they
Something
can have
get ahead early. I like where their head's at, right? If Smoke Break, for some reason, drafts for late game, that's not that big of a concern, right? They're going to say, oh, we're going to pick full-on early pressure and make sure you never get to late game. So I think Smoke Break, honestly, I think if you overthink it too hard about trying to win quickly or try and stall, you're going to put yourself out. I think Smoke Break needs to play their own brand of Smite with early pressure. That's got to be the game plan here.
I like that. I do like the Odin ban for a multitude of reasons. It's been good for Lasbra and for Team Risk in general. We've seen Variety obviously look fantastic on the Odin. But if you get chaotic, if you get control of the wall situation, that would be Smoke Break's play, is grab some walls, have him grab the Odin. But maybe this is a sign they're going slightly more traditional.
I mean, I'm not going to hate that. Again, it becomes much easier when you're playing traditional to just play your own version of Smite. Smoke Break's own version of Smite is what's got them here, right? That they haven't done any goofy strats.
It's just good Smite.
Exactly. It's good Smite too. And Team Risk didn't have answers for it twice
Team
already.
Risk is going to have to risk the
definitely not something that I'm going to complain about if Smoke Break just goes with their more traditional style of drafting. But Team Risk, they are the ones that really do have to switch it up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw,
you look so cute.
You know, more pressure towards that duo lane, try to play through genetics. He's been able to have some pretty solid gameplay lately, but the one thing that I noticed, and he mentioned to us, was that like the Xerxes Hexstone sort of, you know, meta caught him by surprise, and he wasn't.
By the way, chat, they're literally across each other in the room.
He died in a Hades
so
ult
you
that
can see the other guy
zoomed on out of with the boar. Like he's baiting us, man. I don't get it.
They're so troll, bro.
Get to pick some bands here. Have that up for you soon. There's a lot of different ways to go about it.
So
I've got pulled up.
No,
they
something happened again with Team Risk's computer, so they were doing picks and bans.
Just keep putting them in stasis. Buy yourself some time.
Yep.
I'm looking at. You could combine yourself. You could grab a Stampede, get a Hussar's Wings, give somebody a bomb, and just send one person in to be the hero. That could be pretty fun. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but
yeah, I'm so excited because
more time to theory craft. We'll be right back. We're gonna get some stuff
I have watched Andy play like plenty of times, plenty of competitions, in different even fucking sport competitions. But I have never watched him play Smite in the stadium live. Like, I never had the opportunity. He did it in like 2016, 17 or something. But at that point, I didn't even have a visa or anything. And right now, this is gonna be my first time watching him live and supporting him live while I'm there too. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. I'm so happy to have this opportunity to share. Wow. Back to my variables.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like Iron Man unless he has Hulk.
It's very hard to do it.
He's really strong.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't have a camera, like a side camera, and I just have my phone, right? So I'll have to empty all my
you just like insta kill someone.
My memory. Plus, it's so much noise that you need a side microphone, right? I do have a side microphone, but it's better to record it with a side phone, like to have the camera in a side phone. And this is gonna be a player too. I don't know how it is like for him to be a player. Like I've been Worlds, and just walking around, right? But as a player, I don't know how it works. Like what are we gonna be doing? Where are we gonna be in the back? Am I gonna be in the back too because I'm a wife, or I'm just not? I don't know what is gonna happen there. But like if I had someone, I would love to do it. I would love to do a vlog and then I just come back and edit it or something. A GoPro. I just stick a camera in the forehead and you walk around. And I just put a microphone like in the TV with a belt and stuff, and I just stick it around. So are we in queue or what? Oh, yeah. Smite without issues is not a smite. Enjoy the experience, chat. What I'm sad though is like for example, Adapting's girl, Bibi, I'm not gonna be there. That makes me sad. Or like other girls are not gonna be there, makes me sad. I'm gonna be there alone, holding my own hand.
I'm down to get rid of them.
I'm dying inside. Like.
Alright, now we gotta go out. So, even if I can go for slow.
I play Moon? I don't really think.
Yo, my man doesn't play anything else or what?
I can go and do Magneto.
We could play solo time.
Okay.
I keep mine for strange.
Let's see if I'm doing something wrong with Luna's now. Oh, that skin. Well, that's my first mistake. I don't have the skin.
Manito half, I'm hooking. Got him. Kill him. Kill Manito, Manito, Manito.
Nice, shoot, first.
Panther one.
Panther one.
I have a really bad habit on reloading.
I'm
trying.
My bad. I fucked
From
up.
Overwatch, which I'm trying to work on though.
Kill Bucky, maybe. We can kill Bucky. Oh, I want to see. Okay.
I think I'm.
Just. Okay,
I'm really good in positioning
keep
too.
you on point and that's it.
I don't have.
They use Panther, Strange, and Magneto. Okay. They should have support ults. We can just start with. They don't have.
I don't have to.
Oh, you don't have to be. Okay, my bad. But we're still waiting for Pizza. We can use Sylvie aggressively, and then I have mine reactively, okay? Just to force one ult.
Yeah, in Overwatch, it's really different. Here it's a lot of skill that you need. In Overwatch you have like one ability, and you're just chilling, you know. In here there's a lot of abilities plus team up, plus your ult can stack for the next round too, so you don't waste it. And like there's a lot of mechanics that I like from this game. And then play Overwatch, yeah, and that was kind of like my first shooter. I don't know if it's considered a shooter. I don't even know what it is. My aim sucks though. I've been better. Overwatch actually hit me with aiming because in SMITE, I suck so much. You have me as an ADC, don't expect anything, bro. You can't even miss steal and I'll still miss that shit. But now I'm better. And I was actually. I started practicing more Widowmaker in Overwatch because my aiming sucked. So I was like, I need to be able to. So now I'm way better. I kind of still suck, but I'm way better.
Good Bucky. That's some good ass hug.
Yeah, and then I see Andy closing his eyes with the aiming of the gods. I'm like, yo, how do you do it? How do you have the best aiming ever? I don't understand what I do wrong. I even played the little aim trainers, whatever, and I still suck. And I'm still missing. The little target is just there. I just have to flank like ding, 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 ding. I'm still missing. I'm like, yo, what am I doing wrong? Like, is my hand crazy or what?
It's like 6 minutes ago. Yeah, I think in domination is just inevitable.
0% coordination, man.
No, it doesn't matter, but you just think it's cool, you know?
You say one or not,
yeah, just about.
I think if you just win, then you are just gonna qualify anyway. So.
like where really matters was in the first one in the alpha, because they reserved a lot of places for teams that no one knew who the fuck were there, but
yeah, they had 16 save slots for no reason.
16 slots for 32. Hella, no.
I'm playing Hella.
What the hell, dude?
I'm playing my new main.
Oh, Squirrel Girl.
You know you're a gooner.
Oh, you got a squirrel. I want a squirrel.
Let's see. Please no.
I'm telling you, not playing Hella in the entire tournament.
Please no.
People know.
Yo, they've been taking a bit. Good thing that whatever happened right now, you know, instead of in the middle of a game or something.
I mean, most likely they think Hella is OP and they don't play Hella.
Yeah, people in general just hate Hella.
Yeah.
Because they go full open in the middle of the fucking map and they're like, oh, she can shoot me because I'm not hugging a wall. Nice. We literally just, by the way, the Black Panther, if you remember, Lion Pro when we had him, the OTP Tau, what is it called? Taucan or
I never played Squirrel Game. A Squirrel Game, Squirrel Girl.
He's literally just in the middle, he's running through main with
She's so
Panther, visible to everyone.
I don't understand her ult. I need to play all the heroes so I can understand the ults, the animations, the cooldowns, and then
Ban Hella Nation.
I can be better. Oh? Never mind.
Hey, thanks for hanging out and welcome on back. We did have a hardware issue with one of the PCs. We got everything figured out, settled, and we're going to be in picks and bans here very soon. So again, thank you for hanging out. Sorry for the delay, but don't worry.
Usually what I do is I take my time, I go to a jungle practice, and I just play. Read every ability.
Again, if you're just tuning in, or
and
maybe
play
you were
every
chilling
single
during the
hero,
break and you had your
so I
ears
can
turned
check the
off,
possibilities, and then I read all the teammates.
A battle for
team
speed
ups,
here.
team
We're
ups.
trying to win or not lose.
Now I know
as
things
quickly
and how they
or as
sound,
slowly
how
as
they
possible.
look,
Yeah,
how much it takes
lose
to
is
dash
kind of the big
this
one
and
because
that.
it's the for Team Risk, go as fast as you can.
And if I need to play another role, I don't want to be a noob that I'm like, I'm gonna play another role.
And for Smoke Break, it's how comfortable can you get, how defensive can you get if you fall behind, or you can just win.
Yeah, and
plain
so
and simple.
again, I was speaking as if you had never, you know, if you were sitting there and you didn't hear the format. So real quick, we have tiebreakers, and the speed at which you won was one of the things that came into play. Smoke Break won in 27-18, which means Team Risk needs to beat them by 27-17, or else they cannot take over that first seed position. Remember, speed is everything.
Speed
there you go. Now you're filled in. You're welcome.
27-17. Just keep that locked in. Keep that number in your head. Picks and bans is here, and the Fenrir and the Odin are back. We had that before we took our break, but first selection, it's going to be the Poseidon. So already our first sign of movement.
Yep, absolutely.
Morrigan,
Definitely
we're
a
gonna
top
pick
meta
Morrigan?
pick.
Objectives as well.
Has been very impactful in just about every single role to play, but of course Sobek has been that other flip. When we're talking about objective pressure, Ama certainly can bring that to the table, so I don't think you're ever going to complain about it for Smoke Break. And Jingwei has really fallen off. Like everyone is preferring the Cernanos in that carry role.
Yeah, I guess they're just kind of over the combination, the pairing. I suppose we can still see. I do wonder if we'll see the Cupid. I feel like if you are planning on either just win or you are going a more defensive route, the Cupid gives you a lot of options in that of kind of stopping any type of assault.
Yeah, I guess the one benefit though is that CERN has much better early pressure, and again, if Team Risk is trying to win quickly, Jingwei's going to take a little bit of time to get online, so giving that one over to Smoke Break does not seem like the worst idea. Does seem like that Athena may just find her way into the jungle. Definitely a pick that has been coming up from time and time again. And you know what, if you're trying to help a lane that's falling behind, Defender of Olympus is a great way to do it, so it does seem to me a little bit, at least, like Smoke Break is trying to just stall.
Yeah, I'm with you for sure. It's Nemesis locked in, which that pick so far feels the most kind of against the grain of what we're expecting being so late. Bellona, though, I feel like this is a character who fits in so well.
Nemesis is really good against this comp. Yo, Marshmallow, thank you so much for 24 months.
Seven has looked ridiculous on it. I'm just looking at all of the this setup
Beefy
for this pick, right? You've got the Athena taunts, you've got the plucks, you've got
Nemesis is really
so
good
much
against this.
ease of execution there on
Let's
the
see,
9
let's see.
wins.
Oh,
I will
I'm
be
starting
definitely
to
paying
feel.
attention
I'm starting
to
to
it.
feel the rush
But
in my heart.
you gotta look at Team Risk. Is this a composition that can run it down?
Thank you so much,
I mean,
Marshmallow.
the Nemesis does come
How you
out
doing?
swinging, but Yamoja
Happy
is one of the
Sunday.
most early pressure guardians you can really grab in that support role, right? You just spam your bubbles, your moonstrikes, and try and get a first blood there, especially if a Sobek
If we
plug is
win,
messed up,
we win the
that
tiebreak.
could be where the
If we
action comes.
lose,
And then I'm just looking at CERN, Poseidon,
more
Bologna,
than
like the amount of objective shred they
27,
have. Gold
18.
Furies, 5 minutes. I want
Yeah.
right? The
We
respawn
win
time.
still.
Who knows? If they want to battle,
If they win at
if they wanna fight for that
27-19,
first seed,
we
this game needs
win
to end before
still.
27-18. They are going to be W keying and trying to, speed up the pace of this game.
You've got to do it. There's plenty of active items, which ironically Team Risk was the team that made active items such a big discussion point. So 27-17, that's the number. 27-17. Get that in your head. Remember it for this game because you've got to get to it quick if you're Team Risk.
Yep, absolutely. And again, Smoke Break, they just want to stall. Like they would like to win. That's
you
obvious.
can just win the game.
But they are trying to make that timer hit 27-19, and they will just sit back and let it happen.
Well, 27-17. I'm sure the casters know it
18
too. Let's find out and send it to game.
What a truly insane kind of stage that's been set here, Inbound. A world where if Team Risk win, but do it
He's
in
chilling.
longer.
Oh, now we're pausing.
We're waiting. It's too
And
early.
they're like,
We're not going in.
"Ugh."
Not just yet. We got to think about the timer a little bit longer.
What's the timer?
27-17, I've been told.
Oh, que no era
And that
aquí.
is the...
But what a world where Team
We
Risk
got this. We got this, B. We got this.
could win the game in
And get just
27
chilling.
minutes
That's good.
and 27 minutes even. And they'd be first seed at that point.
I can tell everyone
They
like,
win the
what's
game
happening?
in 27 minutes and 30 seconds. They're the third seed after beating the team that just became first seed. It's either first or third for Team Risk at this point after dropping a game to Food Drive for Globe just a few minutes ago. A truly ridiculous stage. And on top of that, if you're first seed,
Okay,
you're chilling.
let's
You're on to
update
Vegas.
this.
You don't have to worry about playing later on
27-17.
today.
Even they said 18, but only 17,
I've never
I guess.
actually casted a game quite like this where the
Just
timer
for me to have it there.
is actually the
Not
biggest
forget about
influence.
Yeah, and I almost feel like we're overthinking more than the players are with these timers, where it's like...
Probably are.
Like, oh, they picked Bologna? Well, we've seen Bologna picked into Ama before. It's one of the few matchups you can actually bully out the Ama. But, I mean, Bologna's also one of the characters where you want to sprint it down, you want to be winning the game before 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's got to be in the back of the player's mind as they're even loading into the game of, okay, well, how do we snowball this game? And, I mean, Smoke Break on the other side is, how are we going to avoid snowballing this game as much as we can? And when...
Do some of this, I guess.
This is actually like level 1.
All right. W key forward,
Oh,
find the kills,
they're
get
all
it going
here?
now. Ekron's in trouble. Blinks, Roots, Aegis is all of it. It's on to Echrome, and Lasbra blinks forward for first blood. The stage has been set, and the timer is still counting down. We are at negative 30 seconds right now of game time. Lasbra with first blood for Team Risk. How'd to make the play?
Dave, how are you allowing a possibility
I know.
that you even get hit by an ability before minions have even spawned? You said the timer's still
They'll
counting
still
down to
hear.
get to 0.
We're doing it again!
Okay, thank goodness. If Elion
No,
gets hit by
bro.
it, what is happening?
Echrome doesn't have Aegis. Oh, man. Able to wander away.
The good thing is that Echrome is
Why?
Gingway, so he
It's
can
not
just
a-
fly
we
back.
don't need to be in the jungle.
They're gonna start
30
trying to do
seconds.
the
Minions are
same
not up, waves are not pushing,
strat that is
but, I mean, you
pressure
have to, like, be happy with what
the
Team Risk
dueling.
is doing, how they're opting to play this game, putting the pressure on. They're looking for even
Johnny's gonna invade the shit out of that, though.
harassing as much as they can, and it's every kill matters, every invade matters for a game. I mean, you've said it yourself. What's the last time actual timing
No, this is
in-game
actually
matters? It's not just that
interesting to
win.
watch. They're
It's
gonna
also
try
gotta
to
that game.
do a speed
That's
run
the
here.
important part.
Streak and Genetics, they will invade just together. Normally we see a jungler here, but right now it's just Genetics and Streak. Leon
And this super cool. Yeah, he cannot
dashes
contest
away,
that shit.
saved it for the last possible
Fucked
second.
up, bro.
Minions still
They're
wait,
doing
making
so much
their way
pressure, and
out
they're
to,
doing
to
great as
lane.
Team Risk.
Johnny and Lasbra dueling it out in the jungle. Looks like Johnny was actually able to invade the Genetics and Streak side of the jungle. And so really, look, Team Risk, they have to take some of these risks inbound to get things going really. Great at first blood. Now showing us the strategy maybe. Let's stick a Yemoja, then a CERN on the purple buff.
But you can tell that this strategy is pre-med.
As quickly as we can.
And we saw this last game by Food Drive for Globe in the duel
they've been
lane
practicing
against Team Risk, where they're not even level 2. Let's just pull him out.
Leon dashes away again. We've seen this a few times. Lasbra's here in the second kill of the game for the Nemesis. The wheels start turning a bit here, and you may look to the top of the screen.
Chrome's not 2.
And see that counter counting up. I see E-Chrome dashing
but
away,
like
you
didn't.
On the
I don't want to be the person, but didn't you see the
Team Risk,
he was
3 kills in the first minute and 40 seconds.
Well, he couldn't back up, I guess, because they were already here.
To pile up.
I almost think this is getting in Smokebreak's head so much so far. These are like blatant misplays. That level 1 death, not great. Using your Aegis, really bad. Now Streak is trying to get level 2, and he's walking too far forward, and he's putting himself into position to die again. And I mean, honestly, beautiful so far by Team Risk.
All right, well, here's an answer back for Smokebreak. Last auto onto Variety will give Johnny his first kill of the game, but the duo lane has gone sideways. E-Chrome did not use his Aegis a moment ago. Don't know if it was just not up or chose not to use it, but had it for this engagement.
And they're having so much
E-Chrome is still level 1 at 2.5 minutes and is now wandering towards the right side of the map, desperately needing some farm.
And I actually
level
like that
1
he's splitting to the other side just to find some semblance of farm, because you look at the other side of the map, there's not as big of a threat, but there's no farm on the right side of the map.
Okay,
I see on the left side of the map, Leon once again wandering away from the fight. The rest of Smokebreak in. Genetics taunted.
Yeah, we need to be punishing those. Like, they're gonna be getting everything for free, so that was such a good play from the Walkers to come.
3-assist start. E-Chrome has just now hit level 2, by the way, at the 3-minute mark.
What an exciting early game so far. And it's both of these teams, they're playing around this timer. They're 100%. They have that timer in the back of their mind, and it's going to be something that carries over every minute that passes, every second that passes. Deek's really far forward here.
He's in some trouble. This is what Smokebreak is after a really brutal start to the game.
Oh my god.
Last tick of damage won't make its way in. Kraken as a separator, but Johnny with a dash.
And Johnny now has ult, so he can start rotating too. So all the things that they were doing right there are done pretty much.
Almost all for naught at this point. The duo lane still feels bad for Smokebreak. Still a level or 2 behind.
Yo, but Genetics is mad annoying, bro. Mad annoying. He's doing great.
Underneath this Jingwei, maybe that rotation out to the right side.
Dude, literally soloing it. That's insane.
Nobody from Team Risk though on this side of the jungle.
That's insane damage. He's doing great.
And outside of dual lane, Smokebreak's in a fine spot to slow this game down, to reach that mark. But
yeah, what we want to do is chill, farm,
and how Eliona's going to be able to live into this Yemoja Cernanos. They have a lot of damage.
And
they have a lot of
Yemoja right now, just he's level 4. From him ganking so much, he's not really farming that hard. So he's not getting that much advantage.
Pick up Alona, get active, get the wheels turning. Variety is down in levels right now to Benko on the Amaterasu.
And he's switching up his build also on this Bologna. He is going for that same style build Amma with that Sunbeam bow, which we've not seen yet. So I'm very curious how this is going to look. Is it allowing you to out-trade Amaterasu? Yes, your disarm allows him to not auto-attack. Your 1 absorbs those auto-attacks. But can you still win those 1v1s with this Sunbeam bow? I mean, this is not a real normal 1v1 matchup we've seen much this weekend, and we've really not seen both duo lane or solo laners build Sunbeam bow. But 5 minutes, Dave, Gold Fury
streak a 2-level lead.
They're already trying to group out that shit.
E-Chrome hits level 5, an all-important ultimate for this Jingwei to get so much more safety now. Rotation towards the Gold Fury, you're right, but the rest of Team Risk not here. As Johnny has his ultimate, can rejoin this fight, and he sure will. Sap receives the assistance of the Athena. Theeks without that ultimate now, the one who may actually end up dying off. Last bit of damage from
nice play, Johnny.
Johnny
nice rotation. They're doing great, man.
Does not have ultimate, but would love to finish off one of these low health targets. And now we're starting to go the opposite direction if we're Team Risk. You stacked up a couple kills early, but the recent kills have been going to Smoke Break.
I'm worried that Team Risk thinks 27 minutes is shorter than what it is. 27 minutes is not a slow time fight on this app.
Genetics.
He should be dead right there. Oh my god, he always died. Oh, what a nice pull.
Starting to spin up. Variety underneath the tier 1 tower gets the kill. But immediately
yeah, he's fine. Like he wasn't in range of to execute them.
Over in mid will not chase down any further on the glass.
Dave, they have dropped
this team is fucking
game
beast team
that we're used to seeing from Team Risk.
They
turned this into an arena. They want to just keep fighting, but I think they're trying to speed this game up too much. Like, you're risking losing everything just for this really, really small lead.
It's a thin
I think he was gonna dive
Theeks just now getting that Kraken back off of cooldown in a rotation from Smoke Break
go
to
feel
gold.
him.
But is there an answer
So do we
from
have
Team Risk? The dual lane
we
is
have
back
Thunders.
in lane.
Andy doesn't have Thunder.
We're thinking Team Risk
they don't have any
Thunder. Streak. In all
but Benko has a Thunder, so
doesn't matter.
Good secure.
Benny Q is not in this game. Benko gets the Gold Fury. And I was wondering if maybe we'd see Risk force an early Gold Fury.
Yeah,
it's gone to the other team.
And Dave, this is flat out like unbecoming.
And now we're in just a better
spot. This is not a style we're used to seeing from them. And I think that they almost overestimate how fast they have to win this game. 10 kills in 7 minutes is not
20
a
minutes,
risk.
by the way, is your timer.
Benny's team?
20 minutes, that's still plenty of time, but it almost feels like they have already, set themselves so far back with trying to push as quick as possible. I kind of hate
yeah,
that early game
all
was
these teams
sloppy.
are already in Vegas. This is for a better
opportunities
placement,
that weren't
a better
and Smoke Break has, past that first couple minutes when they entered in their own jungle before minion spawn. Like, their rotations with Benko just walking over to not allow Gold Fury.
Yeah, it means everything. It's a higher seed. You get a buy round. You get a higher chance to win.
This Athena allows
you get a better prize.
Push and keep farm away. And then if a fight breaks out, you can just hold in.
Variety was looking for the solo, but when there's an Athena on the map, you can never count on a 1v1. Johnny
perfect Johnny ult. It was really good ult.
Johnny, a player that very versatile, can change up the speed at which he plays. You almost wonder if when chaos is brought to his doorstep, he likes that style of game.
I love those bushes. Make so many
jungle that we've already seen play.
Outplays.
Some really good sets of Smite here this weekend. And admittedly, I'm glad to see this from Smoke Break. Don't love when a team plays not to lose. And it was a little confusing early from Smoke Break, but inbound it seems like a team that's now actively trying to win. Why care about the timer when we can just win the game?
Yeah, especially when
they
you
have
see
no
Team
advantage
Risk
already.
making these plays that are just sloppy. Like, they're easy punishes. They are blatantly disrespectful calls that it's just like, you're playing not to lose, this will look beautiful, but if you're actually fighting back, if you're actually thinking about what we're opting to do, that's the problem.
Smoke Break 3 versus 2 in duo lane. Streak up, who had the lead for a
little while. Are they in Vegas? No, Blackheart. They are in Atlanta right now. Vegas is January 17 to 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Seemingly for not. But inbound, you're a player. I mean, this is an interesting thought experiment.
2025.
Have I ever been here before?
Have you ever loaded into a game where you've had to beat a timer? I'm not sure you have. What are you telling the teammates?
Against
Team
Risk,
no.
Some of these from today, yes. But in general, no. They already played Team Risk and won 2-0
in the next 27.
in the past.
I think for sure.
Some of it excusable?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think they're putting too much pressure on themselves with this timer. Like, we have seen a...
What are you telling your team? You load into game.
Loading into game, it's, guys, we just got to win this before 27 minutes. The game doesn't have to be over.
Best Sunday
10.
ever.
That's what Team Risk
Thank you so much for watching, Hoodie.
I liked the early game, but
Appreciate
that wasn't risky.
Guys
there was no risk
in,
about grouping early game. There was nothing to lose
Holding my
on
hand.
the other side of the map. But once that minion spawns, the buff spawns, and there's something that you can trade for Smoke Break, that's when it got bad for Team Risk.
And
27
almost, minutes is significant because if there's a tie, again, if Team Risk wins, this one it will be 1-1-1.
And it's doubling down every
and it will be tied again. So whoever won their game first will get the first seed.
This is a good play. getting out Jingwei ult is always
number
going
one
to be a
seed.
phenomenal play.
Almost.
But
So that's why it's
last
pretty
time we saw
important for
this,
Team Risk
they
to
tried
win
to do it
this
again, 10
in
seconds
less
later,
than
and Smoke
27
Break, knowing that's
and
coming,
17
rotated it.
minutes.
And Variety has been caught by this
Or
trap just
to
a few
win-win.
too many times. Add one to that column.
Or to make the
I knew he
lane
did
and
it
the
again.
game longer
oh, I did it right.
than
Ben
that.
Ko. I know he said
Pretty
Ben
much.
Q again. First kill of the game, but
My
4
pleasure,
assists.
Typer. Thank you for
Variety
watching on the
dropped
YouTube
4
side.
times. You know, that this baloney, you're trying to stack up some kills. But the Athena has just been there every
Walker's so
single
good. No, yeah,
time.
the Walker
Gold
has
Fury now back up.
my full
Genetics caught his
respect
own Rivers
on
rebuke.
game.
Spirit of the Nine wins, catches out the Yamoja.
Oh,
and
Ikron is
Saps
dead.
the last bit of damage.
He did
Genetics
great. Genetics
returns
is
the
really
favor
good
from
too.
the grave.
Like these
Streak
players are
left
fire.
running.
Everybody here plays really good.
Smoke
Really,
dropped
really
3
nice
across
gameplay.
the map.
And that's a really good group.
Yeah, no, their Walker is, as I said,
and they know that
I
Gold
think the
Fury's
first game that they
available,
played
and this is
together,
another
he
objective on the
played
map
so.
for Smoke Break to speed this game
I
up
don't
to
know
that
the
27 minutes.
pronunciation.
So far,
Versatile,
really impressive by Smoke Break.
versatile. Like he adapts. He knows. He has a big gameplay, big gut pull. He understands. He does different things. He's not one-dimension person, and that makes him an amazing player.
Could slow down. Maybe you could push this game like in a traditional game. We're looking 15, 20 minutes from now. 15, 20 minutes from now. Yeah, Smoke Break have already locked in the number 1 seed. And I'm not, who knows what they'll do from that point. They can do whatever they want. Team Risk. Now you are maybe going to have to start playing riskier than what we've seen.
And now this is the time where you 100% would want to see that risky play, where you want to kind of make compounding plays to push your lead a little bit, but
Walker,
the weird early game in this weird style of not playing around what Athena brings is really coming back to bite Team Risk, but
even with items, like item that he never, someone never uses, and then he discovered that there's something behind that item that you can do more. He does it, like he adapts, he knows, he reads, he understands. He has a micro, he has a macro. He has the calls, the shot calls, everything. Hi, Muga.
If Lasbra is the one matching this Athena, there is a massive, massive difference in the survivability that they provide, and the damage, and the CC. It's not over yet, but it's tough. Very, very tough spot for Team Risk.
We're about halfway to that metric that we keep talking about. You and I see a timer counting up at the top of the screen. You know, if you're Team Risk, I got to imagine what you're really seeing is and feeling is a timer counting down. Now, of course, to recontextualize all this, Team Risk are going to Vegas. They are going to be at our
and they get along so good. Like, you guys don't even know. They love geography. They love doing, like, who knows more geography contests, who knows more history contests. This is hilarious.
Your third seed team, and then you got to play.
Didn't know, and they was competing. So what happened was that they recruited him last minute because their support couldn't make it, and now they're getting all the dubs, and they already qualified for Vegas, and this is for the number 1 seed tiebreaker.
Now got a great opportunity to slow things down.
He deserve at least one.
And in moments like this, there's not much to fight for. Smoke Break probably happy to just sit back and farm.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. With Smoke Break, playing to lose is not a style you want to reach until it's later into the game where you can actually just kind of give everything up and not threaten that actual loss. And their style.
Leon is playing Marvel Rivals. Yeah, he does play Marvel Rivals. Right now he's in a SMITE land, so he cannot be playing. That's why I'm here streaming. But he loves the game, and he's gonna continue doing content and grinding Marvel Rivals.
Pull the neutral objective, man. This is just
it's just literally
lurking in the waters. Hexstone.
I told him it was a super meant to be. You had to do it, I guess, in your life. I don't know. You also play, right? Yeah, I do play Marvel Rivals. I like it.
Well, most deaths on the team. Now's Variety out of
we played together, actually.
And it looks like Genetics able to steal
lot
the
of
Pyromancer away. So over the wall, Genetics gets something done. May pay for it with his life dodges out.
I love that item. That item is so nice for the beats
catch him on the flip
everyone.
Side. A steal onto the Pyro feels great.
We're about to move to you. Question mark, exclamation mark.
Really like that steal even more so than Genetics death.
Oh no.
Go pick up this bomb. You have to
Oh,
try
I
to
actually cannot. I need to be leaving here. No, I cannot be getting out of the
drop it right around the
country for more than X amount of time.
HP, and Johnny gets the fire.
We got the fire giant. Lasbra tried to steal it. He couldn't. Right now we're really ahead, and it's looking really promising for us to get the dub and the first hit. Can I add you on Rivals? Of course,
and that's
Armenian.
not good for Team Risk. Yeah,
I don't know what you
obviously,
need, but you
losing the
can.
game is good, but
What do you need?
to win this game in 12 minutes.
Good fight right there, yeah. Right now we're just gonna do Go Fury and start pushing lanes.
7:20-ish is when you need to win by. You're down to 11:30 right now left to win the game.
And Team Risk is.
Ooh,
I mean,
I
this is
don't
not
know
even
if I did
far behind
this.
for or this is far behind for a normal game.
I think it's the
Not a
same.
game that's on a timer.
So wish.
You have to just. I mean, you have
think so.
10 minutes to completely turn this game around and end it. Just about. You have to just start running it down, trying to make plays, 5-man grouping. I almost want Team Risk to 5-man group and just put pressure in a lane, whether it's right lane, left lane, somewhere. You have to be
they're playing really good, and to be honest,
and it's aggro a lot of the times. It says, you know, if you
it
make
looks
somebody
like
make a bunch of
there's
decisions,
some
slowly those
big
decisions become harder
potential
to make.
here to
The
win it
decision
all in
fatigue.
Vegas too.
Start making them make a lot of
I'm
decisions.
gonna play Marvel
Go
Rivals
down
today
right,
for the
start
first
sprinting
time.
it down, sitting
It's
on your
really
towers
fun, it's really
farming.
good.
Can't
Maybe
do that at
it's
this
gonna
point.
be a little overwhelming
make a
at the
ton of
beginning because
decisions
there's a
right
lot
off
of
the
heroes
bat
that you
this
don't know
game.
and you don't know the abilities,
just
but
got
be
easier
patient,
as
and
the
I
game went
really
on.
highly recommend
Here's
to
the
play
really
this game.
bad news
It's
for
really
Team
good.
Risk. They essentially have no
2-0
damage on any
incoming.
of
It's
these
a best
tier
of
1
one.
towers, so you're fighting way
But
out
it
in the
looked
map
like
with
GG
only about
incoming.
10 minutes left to go. Johnny,
How you doing, Fear?
I mean, he'll take this 1v1 every
Okay,
day of the
okay.
week.
I'll
Most of
add
the
you
damage from Variety
later if I
avoids
play
the
on
stun
if
from the
not
Eagles
tomorrow.
rally. And we're gonna
Bro, the live still so annoying.
gets it done. A killing spree. Been a real brutal game for Variety.
Why is there nobody
Learning
grouping with
Siege?
Variety
Oh, I
there
actually
to just kill
don't.
Johnny or to force Johnny's ult out? Why are they splitting? What's the point at this point?
Yeah, at the beginning it was
This is
looking
not
a little bit
hard
raw,
call
but
for Smoke Break to
it
make.
is what it is.
All
Like,
said,
we
one
knew
right,
that
defend that
either
way,
way
all
we
said,
had to
one
play
left. There's
slow
no risk here.
for us to
What's
win
happening?
for the timer thingy, and we want to win too, so doesn't really matter. They wanted to try to isolate the dual lane and try to lead them behind so they could get a big advantage and leave the carries out, but didn't work out.
Dodges out the root.
The Walker punished that hard, and Sonny's been punishing everything.
Streak up may live, but only for another moment or two. Taunt will get this one done. Johnny has totally taken this game over. An inbound
How you
smoke
doing?
break
I'm
looking
doing great,
real,
thank you.
real nice for that
How
first
about you?
seed, and
The
probably the
Walker
last
yeah.
we'll see of this team until we're at
Lucky
Vegas.
banned. No,
I mean,
they
even more than just this game.
banned
I think
Odin
Smoke Break has impressed this
and
entire
Fenrir.
weekend. I think they had a stutter
Sonny's
or
a
two
plus,
here
yeah.
against Food Drive for Globe, who
Yeah, no, everybody
I mean,
in this
we
team
can
in
talk
this
about this
is
group
really
as
good.
a whole.
Yeah, this group has been
Like, you don't see someone that has to
Awesome
be
that it came
carrying
down to
hard
today.
to be
This
able to make
game,
plays,
a
or the other
completely
person has to be
different
doing
style of
crazy
Smite
things.
than
No,
either
everybody's
team
doing
is
their
really
part.
used to. I mean,
Everybody's doing it
we've said
together.
a few
Everybody's
times now
doing the
how
teamwork
often
that
do
they
you
need
play
to
a
be
game
doing and
where you
putting
have to
everything on
end it
place,
by a
and that's what they
certain
need as a
time?
team
And,
to be able
I mean,
to
be
get
fair,
all the
Smoke
dubs.
Break,
So,
I mean, other than the first 30
in these
seconds,
games.
it's been nearly flawless playing to delay this game.
Man, it's going to happen to Variety again here. Benko, a 2-level lead, 1-0-10.
What is this?
Yeah, this tells you where this game is.
But already like, yo, bro, I'm so done.
I mean, you got to keep the intrigue alive a little
That
bit.
was crazy.
And maybe we truly are at the point inbound where it is a 5-man group.
You have to
and see what you can get done under a tower. Everyone is so far. Lazarus 6 levels behind. I didn't even notice that.
I'm so
Lazarus
proud
behind
of my
the
man.
supports.
My heart is so full right now.
The Nemesis has
Not to
not been able
crime
to get
stream.
much farming done. I don't know if 5-man grouping looks a lot better for Team Risk either way, but send a couple towards left, see if you can get a pick, and then group up this 5. You've got to try something here. Got to get proactive in the last 7 minutes of your time.
Yeah, you guys want
Let me give you
final
this, Dave.
interview
I
with
think
Andy
your one opportunity to really
for
put
this?
yourself into position this game is around this Poseidon.
Don't
I
cry
think
until the
Feeks
game
is
is
the one
over.
where maybe the build's not far enough in it to really threaten
I think
or actually get
it might
a
be
kill.
pretty much
But
over. And not because
Feeks
they
has
will
gotta
win
put
or not, use the timer. It's already 20
he's gotta
minutes,
go
and
all
I
in
don't
on
see how
something
could they
very
recover.
Because even if you win one massive fight,
14,000 gold
5v5, you get a
plus
wipe.
structures
The game's
plus
not ending at that point. They're going to
damage
spawn
type
up,
thing.
and you'll have to do it another
And
time.
jinx it? I know.
where you're
I
then
never
ready
say
for that
anything. I
play.
swear, I never say
And
anything.
it's
I'm
coming up on that
perfect.
time
I'm a
where
perfect
Feeks
jinx.
has to be involved in something.
Dude, for real, imagine if they actually like
so far this
practice
game,
all the
making
time, do screens all the
disarm.
time.
Well, delay out the last auto attack. Echrome will send it out whenever.
Se pasan. They're
Really
so
unfortunate for
mean.
Team Risk. You
They're
need to
so
be as
mean.
ahead as you are behind at this point in the game to have a chance of
thank you,
winning it
Zen.
before the timer. Echrome completes the kill on a Variety. Lasbra desperately.
Oh my god, the jukes is so good.
Onto the Amaterasu. Instead, it's Sap7 dashing forward. Lasbra dashing out and away.
So good.
And 3 deaths.
They're pushing the Phoenix right now.
The
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
And
There's no really good comeback right now.
Not only are we not going to lose in 27 minutes, but we're going to win in just over 20. That's what it seems like.
That's what it seems like too.
For Team Risk. And could just be one last siege for Smoke Break.
Yeah, there's real no opportunity here. Taunt gets out the talisman.
Nice
I mean, I
talisman.
guess Cuckoo ult used, so you can't end the game yet. So it's still available.
2 Phoenixes,
you got 6 minutes, Dave.
down.
While
One
they're
Fire
on
Giant
Fire
is there. They're gonna
you
try
just
to
run down
dance
left
around
side
it,
and
maybe.
Do it. I'm ready.
Get the Ancient Fury. Run down
Yeah.
the left side of the map. I'm cooking now. This is exactly how Team Risk are going to get back into the game.
And they cannot contest it.
Smoke Break. Far enough ahead.
No, he literally came one day
Clean and easy. There's a pyro bomb.
before the tournament. Never played together with them. They don't really have a synergy. Never
6
played
minutes
together.
away, however, from
They know each other. They know their game style, their play style, the god pulls, but they never actually play each other. They have played against each other though.
The Titan dies, or Team Risk's Titan is the
I
one
think
that dies.
they might be
6
able to
minutes
beat
even
that.
reaching there.
And that would be a
This
big
is a
flex
brave
knockout.
Going for number 9.
Can he get it? That's the question. I think if Variety really wanted to die one more time, he could die one more time.
Beyond this one?
That's a good call, because Variety is going to die in 45 seconds? Yeah. I bet Variety will,
I don't think
not.
he does.
Yeah, they look like they've been practicing
A lot of
forever.
time left on this Fire Giant buff. Just got picked up, and Lasbra's going to die 5 levels down to Johnny. Maybe. The Nemesis shreds, but Johnny's simply got too much health. So 3 members of
I
Team
think
Risk
Johnny's
left
gonna
on the
back and
defense.
then just TP
Team
ult.
Risk needed to win in 27-20.
They're
about to lose
not really.
in
I
like
don't
23.
think.
We have gone way too fast.
I don't think
but in
they're
the other
tilted. I
direction,
think they know
Smoke
that
Break
it's GG, and
won
if they
their
cannot win
tiebreaker
before
early
27
this
minutes,
morning,
it's gonna be
and they'll win
GG
their
either way.
second chance, and Smoke
Then
Break
22
finishes top
minutes
seed.
flexing
And just a
big.
wonderful end there by Smoke Break.
Flexing
And you gotta highlight
big.
the middle portion of that game for
This
Smoke
fucking
Break.
play,
There was
bro.
a few
This
plays here and
fucking
there.
play.
Team Risk started snowballing a little
GG,
bit,
Chad,
but
GG.
the idea behind, you know,
We
Athena
got
can just sit and farm
the
and solo,
first
and Mango
seed.
can go
We're
harass around the Gold
the
Fury.
best of
And
the
then
best.
if a fight breaks out, Johnny can be
On
there
the
in no time.
second
I really think the Athena pick
group.
was what rounded out
Group.
Smoke Break's idea behind delaying this game to 27 minutes because I mean, in the
Yes.
end they didn't have to delay
I
the
know,
game
right?
to 27 minutes. They're winning in 23.
Yep. And now Team Risk, I mean, they've got to
Oh, he has a shirt. I don't know why he doesn't
I mean, these
have
last
it
3
on.
games that we got this morning,
I
this is all
think
bonus
it's
SMITE,
how it is.
you know, the
You guys are gonna want me to
qualifiers
call
into
him to
Vegas.
get a
These were
little
those last 3
interview.
games.
If so,
gonna have 2
drop
best of
some
threes later
questions
today
because me
that
as
are
an
the
interviewer,
official
I kind of
start
suck.
of our Vegas Founder
So-
Series Finals bracket, and so the game that Team Risk is going to have to play later today against Borscht. That is the start of your tournament in Vegas. Either you go to
Oh, you're
Las
right.
Vegas in the upper bracket, or if you lose against Borscht today, you're in the lower bracket to start off in
You
Vegas.
are right.
So you lose a really brutal one in 20 minutes, and you've still got to play your first game of the actual tournament.
Yeah, I think that's 100% something correct to highlight because you're kind of reeling after a game like that where you needed to win
The
quickly and you lost even
The
quicker
shot
than you
color,
needed to win. 'Cause
according
now,
to Andy,
I mean,
is like the
can you reset
Walker,
yourself?
it's
Can you
him,
kinda go
it's
back, get ready for
Johnny.
this
Everybody
next
is
best of 3, 'cause
calling
this is
things.
just a best of 1.
But
And now
like the
best of
main
3
man,
to
I
also
think
go
it's the
for-
Walker and kind of like him, just
I
because they can
don't-
rotate and
I'm
be
not
tanky and
jealous
be
of Team Risk and what
frontlining.
they're having to do today.
No, and Food Drive for Globe watching along with that one, that'll confirm.
Yeah,
Food
from
Drive for
being
Globe
the
as
issue to
second seed
becoming
from this
first
group.
seed
That
in
means
Las
they'll match up
Vegas.
against Mockingbird in their matchup later on today. But
Hell
for
no.
Team,
No, if anything, he's better with prioritizing
That's the
Deadlock.
last
Deadlock
we'll
is a
see
harder.
from them until the official tournament out in Las Vegas. And it's a team
game.
inbound that I think turned things around very effectively. It was a slower start to this weekend, but the last handful of
fucking
games
proud.
that we saw Smoke Break play were all really convincing.
Yeah, and they finally found like a style that really worked. Johnny, I mean, we
Right.
talk about Johnny ad nauseum when we talk about this team. Multiple different styles, all of them play really well.
Yeah, no cap,
I
no
like
cap.
that Athena. That Athena looked really good,
I know,
and
it
being
was
able to now pick that, flex
Yeah,
that, maybe
they've
even,
been playing this for
this is a
10 years,
dangerous
11
team.
years, Chad. Or maybe
Nobody
more
really
because
plays
it
the
was
entire
a
style
beta
like
for a
they
bit.
do, and
So
it just
let's
makes
say
them
12
more
years.
interesting to watch because
There's
you're not
no
gonna
way
get
he
this
can
type
be
of smite
rusty
from
from
another
this.
team.
If
No,
anything,
you
he's
won't.
burned out.
That was the risk. pun half intended.
Yeah, deadlock is really hard.
Appreciate it,
You
Troy.
need
Thanks,
actually
Jess. Appreciate you,
fingers.
fellas.
I look like when I tried to play deadlock, I looked like I was playing piano,
and
bro.
the rest of
Like
Smoke
my
this
keyboard is so
style
big.
of
I wanted to
game.
buy a smaller one,
'Cause
but
how
my
many
keyboard is so
times
big, and I look like I'm playing
SPL,
piano.
SEC days have passed. Have we seen Johnny sort of thrive in that chaos? This is just another example, and that Athena jungle looked real good. So the timer, all for naught. It's Smoke Break taking the win anyway.
Yo,
and they will take
SW with
number
a
1 seed
title?
as well.
Love it.
Some interesting stuff to break down there, I suppose. We'll let the desk take
Love
their
it.
best try.
I might actually do
Well,
it.
damn. Huh? so much for all the cool stuff. I mean, it was pretty cool if you're a Smoke Break fan, but
I mean,
tough to beat Team Risk in that one. We were right about 2 things.
Okay.
Smite
Okay, after
Cart
the
is back.
Johnny
Yes,
interview, I'm
First
gonna try to
character has
call
to be
him
the
and make
Anubis
some questions.
for Smoke Break. Sorry, the Starfish.
He's behind both of us. That's great.
sorry,
First and foremost.
The Starfish. The second thing, you were right. All Smoke Break had to worry about was winning the game.
I mean, let's take it back though. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful.
Straight talk only right here.
Smoke Break could not beat
Thank
Team
you.
Risk months and months ago, leading up to this turn. They
Not
played.
even
They
close,
played
yeah.
many times. Was not close. Johnny did not have these pop-off performances, right? I'm not saying that Johnny was the problem. I'm just saying that as a whole, the squad could not compete. Team Risk was far and way between the best team in EMEA by far. And everyone would have agreed with you. I've interviewed these players. They've all said the same thing. Leon wasn't even on this team. He was a sub, right? He comes in because Silence wasn't able to make it. So is it the fact that, Team Risk just ran into like this unmovable object? I don't think so. They've taken more L's than just a Smoke Break.
Let's not forget they had a good start to the game.
Yeah,
right?
10 years ago.
They clearly came into this matchup in particular with the mindset of we need to win quickly. Nightmare start here for Leon and Echrome. They both leveled their movement abilities. We had Pluck and Jingwei Dash at level 1.
Yeah, so
And then Genetics and Streak said, we're just going to sit in front of you. You can't get any farm. And I think you got to give highlight to Benko. He teleported over as a level 4 Ama and said, you know what, my dual lane's level 1, but I'm going to help you guys out. I believe they killed Genetics off that rotation, and then they get the squad level 2. Johnny had already killed Variety at that point on the other side of the map. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone but the dual lane was doing fine on Smoke Break, but the dual lane was in shambles. I think everyone was like, oh man, they might do this. They might actually win before 27 minutes. But the Athena was just popping off. The Amaterasu was starting to look real clean. I mean, Sap 7 was never in contention. It was really just the duo lane that needed to get that catch-up. And then after it happened, Leon started confirming so many kills. I mean, the Sobek was very far ahead as well. I mean, his lights-out performance here from Smoke Break to take the #1 seed, and very well-deserved.
Very well-deserved indeed.
I want
so
Johnny
well-deserved
interview.
after a game like that. It's only right to hear from one of the players. So over to you, Dolson.
Johnny.
Yeah, of course. Who else but Johnny with me here for the post-game interview. First of all, that was the first game I've ever casted where like the timer in a game actually mattered. It's usually just been whoever went, however that shakes out. I've never casted a game where the timer really matters. Is that the first game you've ever played where you had to win or lose in a certain amount of time? And did you approach it any differently than you would a normal game?
Yeah, Sam, that's the first instance I've seen that it matters. So, I mean, we try to not think about it. I mean, it's like, of course, it's in the back of your head always, but yeah, just try to play our game.
Well, and talk to me about the way that game started. We're sort of as casters setting the stage, Team Risk, they need to play quickly. And then they start off with a first blood in the jungle to Echrome, stack up another kill or two. How do you guys communicate after that to sort of calm down and
yeah, I mean, it's so bad. We just had one job just not to get stomped, and with the start I was like, maybe they can actually do it. But then we got a kill in solo, I think 1 or 2 kills, and then we kind of stabilized from that. Yeah, and that had an early rotation to do, and that's kind of got even from there. And
did you get the feeling that Team Risk were maybe, I mean, obviously they had to try to win really quickly. Do you think that's something you were able to capitalize on? Do you think they made some mistakes that they made not otherwise because they had
yeah, I mean, probably at like 15 minutes they realized it's not going to happen, so
yeah, right.
They kind of just gave up, I feel like.
Understood. Hey, that's a first seed for you guys. A great tournament from you. Excited to see what you get done in Vegas. Great game from you personally as well. And the desk will take it from here.
Thank you. And a big time kudos for the Athena gameplay. And
I want to see if they
that
put
was
like a breaker or
crazy. I
something.
feel like that's one. That's a good, fun start of what SMITE 2 Founder Series can look like at its most chaotic.
Of course.
But I feel like an important note is that in terms of the craziness, that's kind of the end for the crazy stuff. Now actually begins the Vegas portion
real Vegas
of
bracket.
this, what we've been playing for. We're in the Vegas bracket, and we got just the thing to help us talk about it. We have the schedule to see where we're going from here. And the tiebreaker one, first of all. Like,
I'm like, what is this?
How do I even fully go back and through this? I've been thinking the whole time, how do we fully break down what we saw? How do we do it justice? But it's one of those, you had to be there. You had to experience that timer. You had to experience the flow of the games.
Yeah, and anyone who thought that like seeing teams push to their limit wasn't enjoyable, we are not the same.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Couldn't
like,
be us.
The fact that you have to understand, Team Risk spawned into that game and said, we need to win as quickly as possible. We need to do some outlandish things to make sure that we either like hard win or we're gonna hard lose, and that's what happened. They tried a risky strategy to try and make sure that they could win as quickly as possible because of the position they put themselves in. Right? If they weren't if they simply won earlier on, they wouldn't have had to worry about these sort of things, right? So they ended up in this spot, and so they had to just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. And that's exciting. You know?
It is.
I don't know what to tell you.
But what's important now is to remember the tiebreakers, crazy, exciting timers, this, that. That's now the past, and the present becomes the Vegas bracket. We've made it that road to Vegas.
Don't worry, I'm just gonna edit it real quick, and I'm gonna post it on
where
YouTube.
We're at as well.
I'm just gonna put. Oh,
and
perfect.
oh man, just seeing it, like it hit me. If we're actually to this point, we got
So,
Food Drive for Globe versus Mockingbird, and Borscht versus Team Risk. 5Ms and Smoke Break will be sitting comfortable and patiently waiting.
Oh, okay, I see how it is.
There you go. You get to see what we are looking forward to, and of course, what we will see in the next couple of minutes. Right? We are going to start off this bracket to figure out 5M's opponent and Smoke Break's opponent. That's what they get for getting first seed. They get to chill. They get to sit back and just watch. We will not start match 3 and match 4 until we are in Vegas, but we got to figure out who's getting there.
Yep.
And that's coming up real soon. I mean, the logos look so clean. The bracket looks so clean. I'm excited,
the
man.
The designs are there. Getting to see the Vegas fonts out.
This is where it hits you, right?
So thank you, Galaxius. We don't play anymore until Vegas. What else? What was the timer thing? So pretty much they won the first game. Smoke Break won the first game at 27 minutes. Which means that if it was another tie, like every team won once, the timing was gonna be the only thing that broke the tie. So whoever won first or was won faster would have been the winner of everything. If it makes any sense. I suck at explaining things. I'm sorry. I missed the first game. Don't worry. I got you all. You guys want me to call Andy? Let me see if he's available for a quick call, just to say congratulations from you, from me, from everyone.
In particular, Leon, to go through everything he went through, which will be going to Vegas as a part of Smoke Break. And of course, Food Drive for Globe, knocking down the barriers of SCC that they had faced for so long as a unit, and I know so many other teams had experienced. Sheesh, huh?
That was really cool.
It's really starting to hit me. It'll change back there too. Oh, we are so bad. We're so bad. There's so much to it, and I just hope it hits the players the same way, and we get to see fully that mindset switch of it's the big
I actually
time.
think he is, though.
I don't know if you guys are fully grasping this, but the gameplay that you just witnessed and the gameplay that will be
there, he
Vegas
tweeted, Chad.
So
he put first seed to Vegas. Now I can take a breather.
Changes to the game. You just gotta take it in.
Go and like that shit right now. Go and like that shit right now. And he's calling. Hi, Bases. You're on speaker.
What up, TT?
Hi, congrats on the first seed. First seed. Leave me alone. What?
Here with Chad?
Yeah, we're here with Chad. We want to know, how do you feel?
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, I feel like the games, I mean, these guys are just so good too. Like, these players are probably one of the best players I've played with in SMITE. I mean, it's just so easy when to shot call or like just call in general when everybody just knows what they're doing. You know, it's just less calling.
Who do you think was the MVP on all the games that you guys been playing? If you had to do like one person.
Johnny.
Sonny?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Johnny's just so consistent.
Okay. Who do you think? Okay, Chad is asking if the Walker is the best solo laner you ever played with.
I'm gonna have to say yes, 100%, 1000%. I think he is the best solo laner in the game.
How do you feel on the early game on this game?
It was fucking rough. Did you see it? We were like getting I'm level 1 so bad, just literally by the bush. I'm like, yo, can I have 1 minion, please? one XP?
Literally. But you guys were chilling because you guys knew that you guys had to play slow either way to win the win.
Exactly. But that was scary because it was they were playing so fast, which that team isn't normally doing that.
You think?
So
Keep it going.
In the early game, I mean, they got a huge lead in duo. Like, we were super zoned. G-Wave was... we were suiciding for waves.
Yeah, I saw.
So, yeah, that was crazy. But then we were able to come back through the solo side, and I went mid. We were able to get a double kill.
So you think that Walker coming to stop that madness was the clutch play there?
Yeah, it was what brought us back.
Perfect.
And then mid, we got a bunch of kills, and then I got back too.
How do you feel with the versus the Globe team? How do you guys feel? You guys play a really clean game, really good objectives?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't do anything in that game. I think like I said, Seth just went crazy that game with Cuckoo. He was just hitting everything.
Yeah, I think he opened the eyes of everyone and they were like, wait, Cuckoo's still there in the map. Yes. Okay, and what does being in the first seed mean for you guys? So is like a spot secure for you guys, or how is it going?
So we're already in the semifinals of Vegas.
Okay, so it means you guys can only be 4th place plus.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. What is like going into a team that you never played with before and winning first place with no practice at all?
It's pretty much saying everybody that's ever doubted me in SMITE, go fuck yourself. Is what I gotta say.
I agree. I totally agree, and I respect that. And I say the same thing. No, I'm kidding. Chad says, let's fucking go. That's my goat.
Tell Chad to go retweeting my last tweet.
Yeah, Chad, go retweet the last tweet. You guys already know that shit is gonna be fire.
Since Haddock said, I can only carry noobs in the SCC. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
All right, guys. I love you, Titi. I love you, Chad. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to go to Vegas and, just play and have a good time.
Dale, Titi. I'll call you later. Thank you for the interview.
It's so cold.
I bet. Thank you for the interview. Bye.
Bye.
Spicy interview right here, right now, Chad. I'm sorry, I couldn't ask that question, SW. Yeah, pretty much this is it, chat. We're fucking going to Vegas. First seat, W tweet. You guys have to go retweet, share with your mom, your parents, your friends, your best friend, your girlfriend, your neighbors, everyone that we're going to Vegas. We fucking made it this far, and it's only going up from here. Show it to your ex too. It's okay. Your ex will understand that this is really important for you to send her that. Dale, chat. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Like, sometimes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, I appreciate you guys holding my hand through all this experience too. You guys can do anything. I cannot do anything, but you guys can do anything that you guys think. Of course, always. I never say like, yo, go and hate someone. Never do that. Never spread hate. Only love. You guys know. Always everything under TOS. And hell yeah, Yori, Handy Cook. Well, the team cooked in general. Their first seed to Vegas. I'm gonna edit the YouTube video so you guys can watch it on YouTube if you guys miss any game, and it's gonna be there soon. No, but you're different, Roman. No, we do it with love. Best caster, thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much for being here. Even though this is not my main language, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying. But thank you. And hopefully I can see a lot of you guys in Vegas. I can see, if you guys see me in Vegas, please fucking say hi. Hi to me. Say hi, Vane. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you meeting you guys as always. And thank you so much as always. They in the live stream now. La racita representando a Las Vegas. Ojalá me dejaran castear en español. That would be so cool. If I could speak Spanish too, but yeah. Take care, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Andy's coming back tomorrow, and I'm sure he's gonna stream. And you guys can come and tune in and ask all your crazy questions. Don't forget to check out the YouTube, check out the social, check out everything, and stay tuned, chat. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye in the YouTube side. Bye, bye, bye. Casting in Spanish. Peace. Happy Sunday.